Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone that is watching, wherever you are from. Welcome to JCF's virtual Fuel Your Mood Festival. Please type in the chat wherever you guys are watching from, so that I know that I'm not talking to myself. So firstly, if I can introduce myself, my name is Gemma. I am a mood mentor with the Julian Campbell Foundation. I have been a mood mentor for about five months now. So I have a bit of a unique story with JCF. So prior to becoming a mentor myself, I was mentored. So I have struggled with mental health for quite a few years, and I constantly was trying to get help elsewhere, so from the NHS or from other charities, and there's always a constant waiting list, and they were very long, lengthy waiting lists. So I had very low self-esteem, very low self-confidence, self-worth was low as well, and very, very high anxiety. So a couple of years ago, there would have been no chance that I would have done a live like this. I couldn't speak in front of one person, let alone speaking in front of, however many of you are watching. I've also done a drama workshop with JCF. Hi, Ava, it's nice to see you. Hi, Nelly. I've also done a drama workshop with JCF, which was back in December, where I spoke in front of 300 people. So since I contacted the charity, a lot has changed, and it's all changed for the better. So I contacted JCF through Instagram. I really needed support and I was desperate. So I sent them a private message through Instagram, and they responded almost immediately. So they treat you very much like a human being. I found when I have gone to other places, they've treated you like a number. Like you don't matter as a person, it matters, getting you better, and then that's it. JCF are very different. They treat you like a human being, and they want to get to know you. They want to, understand what you're dealing with. They want to know who you are as a person, so that they can understand, the mentor can understand in what way they can help you, and in what way, what strategies will work to help you achieve your goal and make you feel better. So the support they show, or the support they showed to me, was second to none. I can't rate the support I got high enough. The time they spend with you, they're constantly doing as much as they can to allow you to connect with them and allow them to give you the support that you need. You're listened to, you're encouraged, and they don't give up on you. If you can't make it for a session, if you let them know, if you're having a bad day, or something's come up that has stopped you being able to attend, then they will show that life happens, and that's fine, and they will give you the time to get things back on track, and then continue to support you. So they will not give up on helping you out. So within that 2 years I was mentored, my life changed dramatically. Like I said at the start, my self-confidence is 1,000 times higher than it ever used to be. So I wanted to give something back after that 2 years, because the foundation themselves have given me so much. I could not have asked for better support, so I wanted to give something back. So I went through the 6 weeks training to become a mentor myself, to really show other people like me, other young people like me, even younger or even older, that how good the support that the charity gives really is. And I wanted to give another person what JCF gave me. So I went through the training to become a mentor. My goal as a mentor is to show other young people, how possible it is to change your life, how possible it is to turn your life around. I came from thinking I was completely worthless, thinking I meant nothing to anybody, thinking I was the worst person on the planet, essentially, and believing that it would never get better, and believing that mental illness and mental struggles control your life, and that's it, you're stuck with that. And JCF have shown me that that's not the case. They have shown me that things get better. With the right support, you can achieve anything in the world. Any dream that you have can be made possible. I would never have thought my life would be where it is now. 2 years ago, I would never have believed you if you told me that. Anxiety had full control over me. It had full control over who I was, what I did, who I spoke to, and I was a very, very different person. So what I want to say is, you are in control of your life. The struggles that you face on a daily basis are a being. They're another entity of you that doesn't have control. It thinks it does, but the being within you needs to be booted out. That's the only analogy I can use, is what the negativity that controls you needs to be removed. And once it's removed, you're at your best. You're on top of the world, and that's at least how I feel about it. You are capable of achieving every success in the world. You're capable of achieving your goals, achieving your life dreams. I believe with hard work, determination, drive, you can get to where you want to be. Nothing is impossible. And everything you need to get there is already within you. It's already there. And it's just finding it that is difficult, and it is difficult. I don't want to put across that it's easy, but through my experience with JCF, the support they give does make it easier. And I always thought failure, or what I classed as failure, was a negative. I always thought, there's no way that failure could be a good thing. But you can fail 1,000 times, getting better mentally. You could not fail at it. You could fail at it 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. But the fact you're trying, the fact you even started to try, is 1,000 times more admirable than never trying at all. And it's the same with everything that you ever do. Failure is a prerequisite for greatness. It's a prerequisite for success, and you're more admirable than you realize, and you can do so much more than you realize. And I've come to realize that this year and last year. You don't quite understand it until it happens, and you are amazing just how you are. You don't need to pretend to be someone that you're not, because someone else has already taken. So don't try and be anyone else. So I wonder, does anyone have any questions for me about JCF, about mentoring, about me? Thank you guys. I see your comments. Ava, Jamie, Nicola, everybody. Does anyone have any questions for me? I see you're all there. Thank you, Nicola. I don't see any at the moment. How can a person contact JCF? Julian Campbell Foundation, I'm not sure who that is. But how can they contact JCF? They can contact through our social media. So that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or they can email. So to email is info@Julian Campbell Foundation, or if you want to contact our CEO, who is Jackie, it's Jackie@JulianCampbellFoundation.org. And you can also ring as well, visit our website. We are everywhere we could possibly be at the moment, so we're very easy to find. Oh, thank you, Nelly. That's so appreciated. Thank you very much. What was a turning point that got rid of the entity? Is the block to mental health? For me, it was the right person to talk to me. I had to really look in the dark places in my mind. I had to look in, the areas that you don't want to go in, your regrets, your insecurities, your anxieties. Unfortunately, that's the place you have to go. That's the place you have to face, the demons you have to face to be able to, once those are gone, you're free and you're able to do anything. What was the breaking point for you to decide to seek help? To be honest, for me, it was hitting rock bottom. Hitting a point where I didn't want to live the way I was living anymore. And I knew the only way I could change the way I was living was to get help in one way or another. Also having a future goal as well. I knew I wouldn't get to that future goal if I continued how I was. So yeah, just get help as soon as you can. It's the best thing I ever did. How long did it take to get help / a mentor? For me, I got a mentor the day that I messaged. I believe if you contact, you'll get a mentor within a day, I imagine, or a couple of days. It's very, very quick. You don't have to wait long at all for that. The charity will be in contact within the day. Anybody else at all? Thank you for your comments, by the way. That really means a lot to me. That's awesome. It's good to see you all here. What was my future goal? My future goal is to join the military. So that was my goal back then as well. I did try previously, but my mental health was not in a good place. And I came back from a training course, and after failing a training course, I came back and I was at my lowest. And I actually spoke to an officer at that training course who said, "We want you here. We want you to come back here, but you need to sort your head out." And I think he was another person that showed me that I needed to change. And it showed me I needed to change to get to where I wanted to be. So yeah, I'm reapplying hopefully this year to get there, to get to that future goal. What tips would you have to give a young person experiencing a similar situation? Don't think that you're alone, and also don't think that mental illness defines you. Don't think that your problem defines you, because it really doesn't. It has control. It may have control right now, but it won't forever. And you do just need the right person, the right support, and you can be free of it. It is possible, 100%. Yeah, I remember thinking that my life was going to be that way forever, and I was going to be that unhappy forever, but that is not it's not the case. I am the happiest I've ever been now, and that's all thanks to JCF. So please get in touch with the charity, and I hope I have helped some people. So thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you for your comments. Thank you.
Brilliant. That was absolutely amazing. Am I on now? So perhaps the lockdown has left you feeling a little bit uncertain, or maybe you get easily stressed, anxious, or depressed, or possibly you were feeling all these kind of things way before the lockdown and way before schools closed. Today we're going to talk about a little bit how we manage our moods at Julian Campbell Foundation. And who am I? My name's Jackie. I'm Julian Campbell's sister. I started the foundation about 11 years ago now, after my brother's untimely death. At that time, I saw that there was a need, and being a teacher, I saw that there was many young people in the schools that I taught that needed that support, that extra support. So we started the organisation, Julian Campbell Foundation, and I'm pleased to say that today we are supporting children and families in many continents all over the world. Today I'm going to talk about something that we use. It's called a mood map, and we use this tool to in everything. So we use it when we train our mentors, as you saw from Gemma as well, like she's absolutely amazing. So we mentored her as an organization, and she wanted to give something back. So she came back and she trained, said, for 6 weeks to become a mentor. So she has experience of using the mood map as a mentee, and also she's showing young people as a mentor how to use it. We use it in our drama workshops, in our teacher training, and all over. So first of all, I'm just going to share my mood map with you, just so I can explain to you what it is and how we use it. So I'm not quite sure. Let me just see how right, so let's see. Can you see my... So while I'm talking and I'm getting this up, I just want to explain to you about the mood management and the mood map that we use. So mood is a mixture of two things. So it's how much or how little energy you've got and how you're feeling. Are you feeling really, really, really positive, or are you feeling really, really rubbish? And it's a mixture of these two things, how much energy you've got and how great or rubbish you're feeling, that give you your mood in that moment. So many young people speak with me and they say, well, you know, my doctor's diagnosed me with generalized anxiety. My doctor's diagnosed me with depression, and they're speaking like it's a fixed thing and there's nothing that they can do to change it. You can change it. And we have a surprise guest on through the weekend, and he's the king of changing moods. I'm not going to say much more about him, but he'll be able to see it. Brilliant. Somebody just said that you can see it. So, you know, as I said before, like, mood is a mixture of two things: how much energy you've got and how little energy you've got, and how positive you might be feeling, how rubbish you can be feeling. And let's say, for example, you're feeling a little stressed. So if you look at the mood map, you can see there's different colors. The red is a high energy, low mood. So we've got things like stress, anxiety, and panic. And then on the other side, we have the yellow. So that's high energy, but that's positive mood. So that's where we'd be in action. We'd be really productive and completing our tasks. And then down at the bottom, the blue and the green, that would be the low energy. Now, the green I love. So, you know, you might feel green, kind of like really positive and kind of low energy when you come out of an exercise session, if you've just done a bit of yoga or something like that. That's my favorite. Or you might be in the blue mood. So that's low energy, low mood. So there's no bad or wrong thing here, because sometimes it's good to be in the blue zone, because in the blue zone, you start thinking and you're more analytical and you can start problem solving. But however, it's not good to be there for too long. So what we do with our young people, we show them how to identify where they are in the mood map. So let's say, for example, somebody's feeling a bit sad. So you can see where sad is. It's in the blue zone. It's kind of a little low energy, low mood. You know, what can that young person do? Once they've identified they're feeling a bit sad, they speak with their mentor, explaining why they could be feeling sad. It could be somebody that's in the family. Maybe they've got some bad news. Maybe they're struggling with school. There could be a whole myriad of reasons. So what can they then do to start changing their mood and bringing themselves onto the bright side or the right side of the map, or where the map is yellow or green? And with their mentor, they will be speaking with them and encourage them and doing certain things. So what kind of things do you do to bring yourself onto the right side of the map? You know, if you're watching, it'll be great, first of all, if you could let me know where you are in the mood map. if you can't be in touch with a specific mood, then what color are you? Are you red? Are you yellow? Are you green? Are you blue? And all of it's perfect. How do I feel right now? I'm in action. So I'm kind of like excited. I am yellow. I would say that I'm feeling happy, excited, maybe kind of like even, coming onto the, into the middle, a little bit nervous. That's how I am right now. And when I am on the red side, the best thing for me is to go out for a run, or I love high intensity workouts. I love anything dramatic. What do you do? I can see somebody's put running. Does anybody else want to check in and give me their mood right now? So I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm high energy, which is just as well. So, you can imagine, what kind of way I'd be speaking if I was a bit low energy and I was in the blue. But somebody that's feeling sad, that's low mood, for example, there's lots of things that they can do to change their mood. They can do things, they could listen to music, they can dance to the music, they could speak with a friend, they could go out for a walk, they can play games, they can draw. There's so many things. And this is what we encourage our young people to do while we're mentoring them, because these tools will help them not only find out where their mood is, but help them manage their mood. Because once they're managed and they're the master of their mood, they've got this for themselves forever. So that's a little bit of what we do at the foundation. This mood map, this beauty that you see here, is the cornerstone of everything that we do. Our mentors use it with their young people. We use it in our drama workshops. Even when Liz is green, brilliant, nice and chilled out. Oh, Nelly, you're moving into the yellow. Excellent, excellent. I can see them coming in now between green and yellow. That's really good. Is anyone on the negative side, or not negative side, because there's no negative and positive, it's just the tool to diagnose where you are. Is anybody blue or red right now? And what plans have you got? Because the thing is, a young person can decide to stay where you are. Sometimes, you want to stay in the red or you want to stay in the blue, but quite often than not, you'd want to change. And so we have in our toolkit lots of things that we can give, and lots of advice that we can give to young people, so then they can manage their moods for the rest of their lives. So I don't know if you've got any questions there. I'm seeing a lot of comments of where you are in the map, which is brilliant. And it'll be great throughout the weekend. We're going to have some regular check-ins so we can see where we are. And another question I wanted to ask: when you're in the red zone, so your high energy, low mood, what do you do? What works for you to bring yourself into the positive? I had one running, that's the same as me. I know that after a run or a little 10-minute exercise, or sometimes dancing to music for about 5 or 10 minutes, like mad dancing, that can be a real mood changer. And especially in these days where everything, or more or less everything, seems to be online. And if you've got a meeting and you need to change your mood drastically and quickly, that is a game changer, and it really works. Yeah, I was red and blue earlier this week. Thanks for that, Liz. What did you do to change? I've got a question here. How can I help another person through the mood map? It depends whether you're showing them the mood map, but I think the first thing is to let them find out where they are. And you can do that by asking them questions about how they're feeling now, how they were feeling last week. Because our mood changes throughout the day. Sometimes we can be waking up feeling low energy. I mean, before I have my coffee in the morning, I'm the one at the bottom with the cup, the tired one. And then after I have the coffee, that my energy goes up. So it's finding out where they are and let them be aware that their mood is changing depending on the times of the day and who they're speaking with. Because have you ever spoken with that person that just leaves you in a low mood? If that's the case, then, you need to kind of like be seeing less of that kind of person, especially if you're in the red and the blue, and more of the people that leave you in the yellow and the green. So helping them through the mood map is helping them to identify where they are. Let them identify the fact that they can change their mood depending on what they do, and that they can manage it. Because a lot of people, and me included, before all of this, before using this, and I used it for the first time about 11 years ago, I just thought that my depression was a fixed thing, and, you know, that was it, and there was nothing I can do. And then working and using this map and plotting my mood 4 times a day, and I did that every day for 8 months, helped me become a master of my mood. And, you know, we're not saying that, you know, bad things don't happen. It's just that when things that happen that aren't really positive, that you have the tools to be able to manage your mood. This is the thing. So hopefully, Nelly, I've answered that question. Meditation, yeah, that's a really good one. Maria says reading or going for a walk, brilliant. So Liz, like, so how you get yourself out of the red or the blue is like taking a nap. So I think sometimes, yeah, when you're too tired, you can't think, and it's just not helpful. You haven't got the energy to get out of that section. And how do you get to blue to yellow in 60 seconds? I love it. That would be more difficult, because I should imagine that if you're in blue, if you really want to move and get into the yellow in 60 seconds, I would say a high intensity workout. I would say like dancing to your favorite tunes. I mean, in my past, I used to love jungle and house music. So something that, you know, not kind of like chill out music. That's not going to help, because, you know, that might put you in the green. But, you know, by listening to some really kind of like energetic music and throwing yourself in there and doing that, you know, I would say definitely within 5 minutes, but towards the end, you know, like around the minute zone, you would be changing. That's a great question, by the way. Yeah, I get a bit red when I'm multitasking. Yeah, I actually can't multitask. I can't do that. And I think that could be, you know, almost kind of like a bit of overwhelm. I would reduce the load of things that I'm doing, or, you know, just focus on one thing at a time. But yeah, multitasking, especially for me, would put me in the red as well. Yeah, how to change in 60 seconds. That, hopefully I answered that question. If you've got any more questions like that. Yeah, to write a small list too. So that's really good, especially if you're in the blue, because when you're in the blue and you're feeling a bit low, I mean, like when you're in the red, usually I would be there if there's a really big problem. Something big has happened and you're not quite sure what to do, how to manage it. And then you fall into the blue when you start coming up with a plan. And then you start executing the plan, and then you'd be in the yellow and the green zone. So in summary, the great thing about this mood map is that it's a diagnostic tool. There's nothing bad about it. You know, there's, you know, the red and the blue doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's just for you to see where you are and to change your mood state. And, you know, this has led to our success, led to us being in more schools, led to us having more mentees. You know, and thanks for asking those questions. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, I love that. Writing a small list really helps. How long did it take you to become the master of your mood? I would say that when I had chronic fatigue, and that was about 11 years ago now, and I was literally in bed for about 8 months. And it's different to the depression I felt after my brother died, because my depression, I was in low mood. I just felt absolutely rubbish. It was difficult to carry on. I couldn't see my life without him. But with the chronic fatigue, I just felt tired. I didn't feel like in a low mood. I was just so tired that it was like, I felt like a mobile phone that had just run out of energy. And I had to be really careful about how I was using my energy. So I would say, by mapping my mood 4 times a day for 8 months, by the time I'd come to the 8 months, I was the master of my mood, in so much as I knew what I could do and what I couldn't do. And before then, I was just very product orientated. I would think nothing of drinking Red Bull to finish a task. And now I look at my moods and what I'm capable of doing. Do you keep a mental note of your moods, or do you write it down? I've got that kind of flexibility in my mind. I'm always doing a check-in. I'm always doing a check-in. So if I'm thinking certain things and thinking in a certain way, then I can do a check-in, realize that I'm stressed, and it's because I'm stressed that I'm feeling that way. And then I can do something to get myself out of that mood state. Because once you're out of, like when you're stressed, you're thinking in a stressed out way. You do a little activity and then you go into the yellow and the green and you start thinking in a completely different way. It's a win-win situation all the way around. And now I think we'll come to the end of this now, but we have an application which we'll be talking about more over the weekend about how we can manage our moods. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all of your wonderful questions, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in this weekend. About more over the weekend about how we can manage our moods. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all of your wonderful questions, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in this weekend.
Hi, can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, damn. Oh, sorry. Am I live? I'm afraid I can't hear anybody else. Can you hear me okay? Great. Okay, I'll just carry on then. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the microphone, but anyway. So I'm Jane. I'm a yoga teacher, feeling somewhere between green and yellow at the moment, I think. So I'm going to do a breath work session. Breath is one of the things that we all have in common. So the very first thing we ever do is to breathe in when we're born. It's free. You don't need any equipment to do it. You get quite fast results from it. And it's one of those things where the science is you're breathing in oxygen, you're breathing out carbon dioxide, but it has so much more to it as well. So it really links us into our nervous system and actually helps us to calm our nervous system down. And also actually to energize ourselves as well, if that's what we want to do with it. Once you start going into breath work, there's so many different ways that you can use it and tools that you can use. But just very, very simple breath work can be so powerful. I mean, it gives us focus and concentration. And actually, if you're feeling anxious or in any way just being pulled out of yourself somehow, then it can actually just bring you back into your body and back into a place where you have control, where you're actually just centering yourself again and finding some stillness. So that's one of the things that I do if I start to feel in any way overwhelmed or tired or anything like that, is to just sit and do some conscious breathing. So I'm going to keep it really quite simple through this session. And please do join in if you wish to, and leave as you wish to, join as you wish to, rest, watch, listen, whatever you want to do. But to start with, I'd like you to, if you feel comfortable to do so, to lie down on your back and to bend your legs and take your feet to the ground with your arms down by your sides. If you're not comfortable lying on your back, that's completely fine. So sitting is fine. So as long as your spine is straight, it doesn't really matter if you're lying down or sitting. So if we start out with lying down, and again, if you feel comfortable to do so, close your eyes. And if you're not comfortable to close your eyes, again, that's fine. You can keep your eyes open. If you keep your eyes open when you're doing some conscious breathing, then ideally don't look at something that's going to give you any thought stream. So you're looking at something completely neutral. You can maybe focus on a spot on the wall or something that doesn't have any connections to you with it. So ideally the eyes are closed. If not, the eyes are open, looking at something completely neutral. So drawing your mind inside of yourself, I'd just like you to be aware of how you're breathing to start with. So how are you breathing? Is your inhalation, your exhalation Are they shallow? Are they fast? Are they slow? The very fact that you've started to think about your breath sometimes means that you change the way that you breathe. So literally just thinking about how you're breathing. And drawing your mind deeply inside, I'd like you to be aware of how you're feeling without labeling it in any way. There's no good or bad. So just simply, how are you feeling? Do you have any physical sensations in the body? Any thoughts, any emotions? But whatever you experience, whatever you're witnessing, you're just looking at those as though you're observing somebody else, somebody that you really care about. So simply watching yourself. Now become aware of where your body is meeting the ground. So either the whole body on the ground if you're lying down, or the sitting bones dropping heavily into the ground if you're sitting. So you're feeling that connection with the earth. So for any point when you're doing conscious breath work, if you become in any way anxious or feel a little bit strange, then bring your attention back to that meeting point with the earth. So the sitting bones or wherever you're meeting the grounds, feel that connection with the earth and feel yourself in your body, being aware of your body. Now see if you can take your breath a little deeper. And again, just be aware of wherever you're breathing. Start to lengthen your inhalation and lengthen your exhale. Simply witnessing that breath. And now take your focus into the muscles of your face. So often we have our jaws clenched, the mouth tight, and when the face is tight, it actually prevents us from taking full breaths, from actually starting to feel more calm and relaxed from the breath. So I'd like you to actually just have a really good yawn. So stretch your jaw out and yawn. And then take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, sigh fully. Ah, just let it all go as you exhale. And gently close your mouth, lips gently closed. So ideally, if you're able to do so, you're breathing through your nose. Nasal breathing is so much more effective than mouth breathing. And mouth breathing done over time can actually change a lot of things in the body. Nasal breathing can help you to then balance the body out. It actually balances out your hormones as well as your carbon dioxide and your oxygen levels, and your circulation as well. So it gives you a healthy heart too if you're nasal breathing. So lips gently closed, jaw and chin relaxed. The roof of the mouth is soft. Your eyelids gently closed if your eyes are closed, otherwise a soft gaze. So relaxing all of the small muscles of the face, as many muscles as you can. Soften. Allow your body to soften. Then take your hands onto your belly and start to breathe down into your belly. So expand the belly on the inhalation and gently contract and deflate the belly as you exhale. Expanding to the inhale, contracting to the exhale. making your breath as long as you comfortably can without any strain. And see if you can have a sense that your body is being breathed, allowing the breath to come in on the inhalation, invite it in, and let go of the breath as you exhale. And feeling that gentle rhythm of your breath, relaxing rhythm of the breath. And as you feel the rhythm of the breath, as the belly expands and contracts, let as much of your body drop down as you can if you're lying on the ground. So the lower belly, the lower back drops into the mat, into the ground. Open out the space between your shoulder blades. And as you inhale, draw your shoulders up tightly towards your ears. As you exhale, move them away. See how far down you can move them. Now hug your knees into your chest if you're lying on the ground. And rock yourself a little from side to side. Then slowly roll onto your side and bring yourself up to sitting. So sitting with a straight spine, you can lean against a wall or a piece of furniture if you want to. If you want to stay lying down, that's also fine. You can breathe in any position that you're in, usually. So if possible, you're sitting with the backs of your hands on your knees, the palms of the hands facing upwards, allowing your shoulders to roll out. And again, if you're comfortable to do so, close your eyes. And again, check in with yourself. How's your body feeling? How's your mind? Are there any emotions arising? But you're just witnessing those emotions, not engaging with what's happening, just allowing yourself to be. Acceptance. Then have a sense that your sitting bones are being drawn down into the earth. The whole of the pelvis is dropping down. So from the waist downwards, you're being pulled down. And now let your upper body lift and lengthen upwards. The crown of the head is drawn up towards the sky. Long, open spine. Chin drawn very slightly towards your chest. And relax your shoulders. Let the shoulders drop. Good. Then come back into your breath. Again, how are you breathing? Is your inhale or your exhale longer? Does one feel in any way constricted? Do you feel like you're breathing through both nostrils, or is one nostril more dominant over the other? We actually change the nostril we breathe through throughout the day. So generally, we're switching from side to side, not constantly, but over periods of time. So which nostril are you breathing through at the moment? Again, check your face for tension. Your lips are gently closed. Tip of the tongue resting behind the top teeth, the jaw and the chin relaxed. Now begin to count to your breath. So as you inhale, counting to 5. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just pause and breathe normally. So if that felt too long or too short, then either stop and work at a rhythm that's suitable for you. Otherwise, I'll keep talking through inhale, exhale for 5 seconds. And over time, we're going to then extend that exhalation. So your exhalation, a longer exhalation, is what connects you into your parasympathetic nervous system, which actually helps to calm down your body and mind. So we're going to work with that. So again, be comfortable, inhaling through the nose, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale through the nose, unless that's uncomfortable. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eyes closed. And again, just be aware of how you're breathing without trying to control it. Observe how you're feeling. Be aware of any sensations in the body. And if you want to, stretch your legs out and give them a shake if you're starting to get pins and needles or feeling slightly uncomfortable. And then when you're ready to, either cross the legs again or sit with your legs outstretched. So be as comfortable as you can. So we're going to do an alternate nostril breathing now. Alternate nostril breathing actually balances out both brain hemispheres. It also helps you with balance. There's ways of working with alternate nostril breathing where you can actually experiment with breathing from right to left, which can energize you and get you ready for giving a performance, or just even going out if that is something that you feel that you need to do to energize to do that. And when you're breathing from left to right, that helps to calm everything down and make you peaceful. But the best way to do it really is to do from left to right and right to left. So you're completely balancing out both hemispheres of the brain and you're energizing and calming at the same time. So again, I'm going to work with a ratio of 1 to 1 to 1, but we'll do around 5 seconds. If at any point you find yourself becoming in any way anxious when you're doing the breath work, then just relax, just tune in with yourself and allow yourself to be and breathe calmly and peacefully until you feel fine again. And if you need to lie down, that's also fine, of course. So either take, actually, it's probably better if you take use your right hand if that feels comfortable to. It doesn't matter if you use your left, but right is better if you can. Take those 2 fingers to the bridge of your nose. You're going to close your right nostril with your thumb and your left nostril with your ring finger. Okay, so again, with your eyes closed, if you're comfortable to do so, and inhale through both nostrils, close the right and exhale through the left. So that's a clearing breath. Inhale left, close the left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, same nostril. Close the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the same nostril, the left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. That's 2 rounds. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Last round, inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Drop your hand down onto your knee. And again, if you can keep your eyes closed, do, otherwise gazing at a neutral point. And just be aware of how you're feeling. Again, without judgment, without labeling. You're simply observing yourself. And observe yourself with kindness and compassion and acceptance. Allowing yourself to simply be perfect as you are. And again, if you want to stretch your legs out and give them a shake, do. And it's really important not to be really uncomfortable when you're doing breath work. If your mind is thinking about the fact that your hip is aching or your knee's aching or your shoulders are feeling heavy or tired, it's good to just have a good shake out. So actually just shake out your arms and wrists and fingers and shoulders and shake your legs out and then cross the legs back again. Good. And then as you inhale, squeeze your shoulders up tightly to your ears. And exhale, let them drop down. And again, inhale, squeeze the shoulders up tightly. Exhale down. Great. So again, either the backs of your hands on your knees or your hands in your lap, if that's more comfortable. With your eyes closed, again, if that's comfortable. So again, check in with how you're breathing. Your breath may have changed if you've been with it from the beginning. So how is your natural breath now? Then take your mind into your body and be aware of any sensations in the body. So again, without labeling, where is your mind drawn to in your body? And imagine yourself sending your inhalation into that place, creating space in that area, wherever that is. And as you exhale, breathe out tension from that area. If there isn't any area, just have a felt sense of your whole body, but most of us have got something going on. Good. So again, breathing into wherever you feel your breath might be needed in your body. Imagine yourself breathing into that place, creating space. And let go and breathe out tension on the exhalation. And that place may change. You may feel that you need your breath elsewhere in your body. If it changes, send your breath there. And one common area where we hold on to tension in the body is the diaphragm, which is that big breathing muscle. It's a sheet of muscle which joins all the way around the front lower ribs and then goes around to join onto the spine. Or that's the general area of where your diaphragm is. And quite often we can feel tension in this area and anxiety. So through breathing and starting to breathe more consciously and fully and expanding to the breath, then we start to gently, gently let go of tension and anxiety in this area. So now I'd like you to focus on inhaling into the diaphragm, so into the lower ribs. And as you inhale, expand your front lower ribs and open out the side ribs. If you can feel movement, it doesn't matter if you can't, just having some sense of movement. And as you exhale, draw back in with the ribs. And again, inhale, breathing fully in as deeply as you can into the lower ribs. And exhale as you draw back in. Good. So now filling the lungs to start to release down here. So inhale into your nose, into your throat, down into your lungs, and see if you can open your side ribs with your breath. And as you exhale, empty your lungs through the throat and out of the nose. And again, make your breath as long as you comfortably can without straining. Breathing deeply down, filling the lungs on the inhalation. See if you can breathe into your back, using as much of the capacity of your lungs as you're comfortable to do so. And then breathing back up and out on the exhale. So now allow your breath to be fairly shallow without trying to make it shallow. So just a natural breath. And again, check in with your body, check in with how you're feeling. Any thoughts? Now imagine the space below your nostrils and find a soft breath. Keeping the breath close to the nostrils. Imagine there's a feather just below your nostrils. And you're breathing in such a way, the feather isn't touching your nostrils, but you're breathing in such a way that you're not affecting that feather. So very soft, gentle breath. On the next exhalation, blow the feather away with your breath. Draw your mind fully inside and take your awareness into your heart center, in the center of your chest. And you might want to put your hands on your heart center if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, just keep the hands resting in the lap. And with your eyes closed, if that's comfortable, your mind inside, imagine a soft, glowing, golden light in the center of your chest. And allow that soft, golden light to gently expand out from the heart, shining out from your heart. Then drawing that light back into your heart. And keeping that softness in your heart, drop your hands down. And take a few moments just to feel the ground beneath you. And gently wriggle your fingers. Look down at your hands. Come back fully into your body. Great, well done. So breath work is completely available to you whenever you want to practice it. And even just 1 or 2 minutes of simply coming back to focus on your breath can really help you. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed.
A huge thank you to you, Jane. I do apologize before that. My mic was muted. My bad. A huge thank you. People were saying thank you so much. The breath work was great. Awesome stuff. So a huge thank you to you.
Just 1 or 2 minutes of simply coming back to focus on your breath really help you.
Okay, everyone, let's welcome the one and only Martin Sharp. Hi, Martin. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yes, loud and clear.
The stage is all yours, dear.
Thank you very much. When Jackie first asked me to speak on this with regards to my story and how I've gone over the last few years, I was kind of pondering how do you actually start a conversation like this. But listening for the last hour of what we've been talking about, I've kind of realised there's kind of 4 key things that have come out from my journey that you guys probably would benefit from and certainly learn from, because after all, your life can either be an example or it can be a lesson. So the 4 kind of key things I want you to think about are things like burnout, fatigue, stress, and fear. But more specifically, how can you turn those things around so that you can increase the kind of spark that you have inside your life so you can make a bigger difference? Because it might be that actually you're finding that you are low on energy and you're having to find different ways to kind of perk you up on a morning. You know, some people turn to coffee, some people turn to Red Bull, some people turn to other kind of stimulants. You know, it might be that actually you're finding yourself, you've put on too much, you're doing too many things. And all that's happening is you're in a place where you're burning the candle at both ends and you're just feeling more and more tired. And you're just feeling exhausted to the point where you're coming back sometimes and you're just collapsing on the sofa in a position where you just feel like you're dying. You can't move, you can't do anything. And you just don't know what's going on. It might be that you're going out and you're doing things and you know those things are the wrong things for your body, the wrong things for your mind, and the wrong things for your soul. It might be that you're eating the wrong things. It might be you're doing the wrong things, but you're just finding in a position where you just don't know how to stop it. And all that happens is you're forming these kind of bad habits in a way that actually you don't know how to create those good ones. But if you recognize any of those things, then where do you really want to be? What do you really want to do with yourself? Maybe you want to be fueling your body in a way that you know is going to be supporting you, in a way that you are going to be able to make better use out of the time that you've got by being able to taking all those correct nutrients and being able to be a way that it's able to stop those spikes and crashes, those peaks and troughs that you might be feeling, because it's supporting you. Just imagine if you had much more clarity of mind and focus, that you're able to do so much more. And you can get more done in the time that you have, and the best of all, you're doing it right. So picture this. You have an amazing increase of confidence that you're suddenly appreciated by everybody that you meet. And all of a sudden, people want to spend time with you. People want to actually listen to what you've got to do. So what if you could create that lifestyle that supports you, supports your family, supports your friends, and in future may support your business or empire that you build? And all that does is create you in a position that makes you feel stronger. So if you've got some of these kind of things going, like fear and uncertainty and doubt, anxiety, stress, worries, etc., how can you do something different? And why should you do something different? Well, start looking at some of the like key facts that happen in society today. Everybody's talking about people like the Health and Safety Executive. You look at NICE, which is the National Institute for Care in the Community. Look at the Mental Health Foundation. And they'll all tell you the same kind of stories. 74% of adults in 2019 went to complain about being too stressed. That's what one of the figures came from Mental Health Foundation. If you look at GPs, we're reporting back tonight that over 50% of the people that came through their doors were complaining about being fatigued and tired and run down. And that's just the people that actually go to the doctors. Just imagine how many people don't go to the doctors and never actually have those things diagnosed. There's all sorts of other things that can happen to your body if you're in this position where you've got a lot of stress carried. A lot of these are classified as the non-communicable diseases if you look at the WHO. So things like sarcopenia, things like diabetes, things like other stress-related illnesses and cancers and things can all be built up by the fact that your body's just feeling run down. So how can you start to look at changing your lifestyle to have a way that actually supports the way that you want to be, supports a more positive road, and supports a way that actually really builds you up and supports you, so you're no longer in those positions where you actually feel like you're being torn down? And part of that comes through diet, exercise, and really feeling good about yourself, finding all those positive things, because everybody in life has some good parts. Everybody has things that are going to be going really well for you. The thing is, our mind's already trained in a way that is looking for all the bad bits. You see, we've been evolving for tens of thousands of years. We're constantly looking over our shoulders for the saber-toothed tiger, because he's over there, he's going to get you at some point in time. The thing is, the saber-toothed tiger no longer exists, but we're in a high-speed, very much fast media kind of society, which is constantly bombarding us with bad news, bombarding us with bad things that are kind of going on. And our mind doesn't know the difference between something that's virtual and something that's real. It can't tell the difference about where the saber-toothed tiger actually is and what isn't actually a saber-toothed tiger at all. So it brings on board all that kind of stress, all that kind of anxiety. And people can't pick these up and think, actually, they can't do anything about it. But you can, because you can use things like health and fitness to really drive some of that into more positivity, into a way of being able to help encourage you to feel in a more better way. If you look at some of the key facts around it, when you actually work on your own body and you work on your own health and fitness, not only can it help you manage your stress in a much better way, but it also improves your cognitive abilities. And all of these are now become more and more facts that scientists and scientific papers are writing about all the time. They're finding new and amazing ways that our body is here to help us, not only just physically in what we do, but also mentally. And if we start looking at things like our hormonal states and things, it really gives a bigger picture as to why all these little things can cause such havoc inside our own bodies. But why would you listen to me? Who am I? Who is Martin Sharp at the end of the day? Now, I'm Martin Sharp, and I'm an award-winning speaker, coach, mentor, consultant, and author. And as you could probably guess it, I'm quite a busy man. Now, back in 2014, you wouldn't have recognised me. I was 154 kilos. I was I've been running my business for 5 years, and it was a great business, running 7 figures, and I was helping my clients worldwide. I was dealing with things such as a £1 billion hospital divestment. I dealt with a £16 billion airport acquisition. I was building the plans and helping to deliver on a $16 billion asset transfer between 2 global pharmaceutical clients. And it was like living the dream. I was out there living that jet set lifestyle. But when I wasn't doing that, I was at home. I was a devoted, loving husband and father. I was kind of helping my kids growing up and helping my life and really living, giving them as many experiences as I possibly can. And when I wasn't doing that, I was helping my friends to make sure they were doing well, because I like my friends. But the fact is, when I kind of stood back and looked at that, I realised that I didn't have a lot of time for myself. Because by the time I finished with friends and family, by the time I finished looking after the dog, my healthcare and my self-care went really down the window. Now, have you ever noticed that sometimes in life, it can take an amazing shock before you're going to actually do something? And my shock came on that holiday in 2014, when I was away in Orlando, Florida with my wife and children. And I got a photograph taken, and it was horrible. I had moobs. My moobs were bigger than my wife's boobs. They were huge. I was 24 stone. That's 154 kilograms. And at that point, I kind of realised, actually, that there's so many other things that were going wrong in my life. I was putting to one side and ignoring the fact that, I was finding it hard to breathe. And I just put that down as being asthma that I had since I was a child. I was finding that I recognised I couldn't get out of bed. I had to turn over onto my side before I could get out of bed. And I kind of thought, that's just getting older. I had really bad back problems. And I thought, oh, that's just because I work at a computer all the time. And that's let alone the fact that even on that holiday, I was being denied access to taking my own children on roller coasters because I couldn't fit in the seats. And when I started to look at that and start to look at other areas of my life, I'd realised I was no longer cycling, which I really enjoyed. I was no longer canoeing, a sport I'd loved since being in the Scouts as a child. So I knew something had to change. So I made that change. I made a commitment to myself back in 2014. I said, I'm going to make this happen. So, I did it. I got myself a gym membership. I got a personal trainer. I was tracking all my calories and things on MyFitnessPal. I was trying to make this work for myself. I thought this was great. I was even doing the 10,000 steps per day as recommended by the government. But have you also noticed sometimes you do make excuses and things don't always go according to plan? Well, you see, I had a life. I could have as many excuses as I liked. So, for example, the gym membership hardly went used because, I was barely in the country or in the same county or city at the same time. And I never really went to the PT because, it was always at a time I was busy with clients or with other pieces of work. But I think the biggest thing that happened with me is it was all the food. Because I was away on all these great big business trips and helping make change happen around the world. So it meant there's lots of dinners, lots of drinking and lots of desserts. And none of those ever got into MyFitnessPal. In fact, if I was ever truthfully honest with myself, the only thing that actually went into MyFitnessPal was the 10,000 steps a day as I shuffled between meetings in between offices. So it really didn't work for me. So I tried alternatives. I took up karate with my daughter. I went down and did kickboxing when I was in London with some friends. I tried accountability groups. I even created my own accountability group, but all this really stuck. I tried different diets. I tried the Celebreties diet, the Weight Watchers diet, the Atkins diet. And no matter what I tried to do, I just couldn't seem to shift the weight from my frame. In fact, over 5 years of trying, I only managed to drop 10 kilos. And that was until I was recommended to work with a guy who's the world's leading online physique consultant. And he said to me, he says, you've got to find the mental strength to change. You've got to make this one of your highest values for your change to succeed. But what does that actually really mean? Because I suppose it means that if I don't change, then everything else that I value is going to fall apart. My family won't be able to play with me. I won't be able to help my friends. And potentially won't be able to service my clients anymore. So if I can't change for myself, then maybe what I've got to do is be able to change for everything else that's around me and pin that to my highest values and make that work. And that's what I did. I started working on myself so I could be around for my family, on myself so I could continue to help my friends, and on myself so that my clients could continue to have the great services that they've already had. And it worked. Because in the first three months, I went down 10 kilos. That's absolutely fantastic amount of thing. And it didn't matter what was going on. I could be wherever I was in the world. I was working out in rooftop gyms in Prague. I was in a basement gym in Bucharest. I was in a luxury gym in Dubai, even just in my home gym here. And then that first 12 weeks, I managed to drop that 10 kilos at 22 pounds. After that, I started to look at how else I could adapt things to make it continue to work for me no matter where I was. And over the next 3-month period, I dropped another 7 kilos. I was on a roll at this point. I was finding that my clothes no longer fitted. I just looked like a kid playing dress up in his dad's clothes. So I had to go out and just get new clothes all the time on a regular basis as my body just kept on shrinking. People that I'd known for years would just pass me by because they just no longer recognised me. And I continued to work on it even during the COVID lockdown. So, would you agree that sometimes you have to put yourself first? To be selfish so you can be selfless. So that I no longer am just existing in life for other people. I now live life for myself. I'm capable of cycling for miles if I want. I can perform handstands again. Not entirely sure when that's going to be useful for meetings, but it does make me feel absolutely fantastic. And I know the fact that I'm more invigorated, more youthful, and that does make a big difference in my life and in my businesses because I'm a more youthful version of myself. And now I love doing nothing more than be able to help work with my clients so they can achieve their health goals and their lifestyle goals and really turn themselves around. and using health and fitness as ways to be able to make sure they are in a stronger position. To be able to be from going maybe overweight or maybe feeling stressed to maybe feeling anxious to actually just feeling normal, feeling themselves. Now, Jackie asked me if I would kindly spend a little bit of time with you doing a little bit of exercise. So I was kind of thinking, what could we do in the space of maybe 5-10 minutes that would really give you some value? So what I'd like you to do is just quickly, just spend about 30 seconds, go get yourself a couple of cans out of the cupboard. You know, it can be cans of beans, cans of tomatoes, cans of tuna, whatever you've got around. Other brands are available, not just Tesco's. And while you're just quickly going through that, going to grab yourself a couple of cans, I'll go through a couple of reasons why we're going to talk about and why we're going to put cans in here. You see, one of the secrets that I found out, which not many people will tell you, is that resistance training is actually one of the best and biggest ways of being able to A, lose weight, and be able to B, improve your body. And this is only something that recently is being adopted by mainstream places like doctors, by surgeries, by other healthcare professionals, etc., but has been known for probably tens of years, easily decades, if not longer. If you look back to the Spartans, for example, or the Romans, etc., they did a lot of physical resistance-based exercises just to make sure that they were physically fit for combat and things. So obviously, if it's good enough for them, I think it should be good enough for us. So hopefully you guys have come back and you've got yourself your cans and you're all ready for this. We're going to go through a little bit of resistance training actually on this session now. Now, first of all, let's go through a little bit of background. The bit that I really want you to concentrate on is a thing called your mind-muscle connection. Now, you might be wondering, what is your mind-muscle connection? You see, your central nervous system controls everything. So just like Jane was talking about earlier, she was talking about the parasympathetic nervous system. The opposite is the sympathetic nervous system. And these two things live inside your body and do different things. Your sympathetic nervous system, it's the bit that, it instantly gets fired up. It's the bit that, once it sees that saber-toothed tiger, it's ready for action, so it can run away as quickly as possible, or it can stand and freeze because it's not doing anything. It's the fight and flight kind of responses going on there. And that instantaneously can be switched on. Whereas your parasympathetic nervous system is the part of your central nervous system which makes you just relax. And it takes a lot longer to get into that. So lots of nice breath work, maybe a nice massage, good hot bath, etc. All these things kind of nicely engage it. But it's the balance of these two that you can actually utilize inside your life to make things happen. So, for example, when you're going out and you're doing some exercise, do some training, maybe you're doing something where you need a lot of energy, etc., engage that sympathetic nervous system, realize what's going on in your body, but also give your body time to calm down. So what we're going to do is going to use the whole central nervous system and your brain, etc., to be able to connect between what you're thinking and the muscles that you're going to be using. So, for example, we're going to use today is we're just going to use the bicep in our arms. And all we're going to do is going to literally just try and get you to connect to your bicep, moving that can up and down. Now I want you to do it nice and steady. Okay? You might find it easier if you just hold onto your bicep with your one hand. Maybe even shut your eyes if you'd like to. And just feel that muscle moving up and down. As you're bringing it up and you're contracting the muscle. And as you bring it back down, you're letting the muscle expand. Now when you do it nice and slowly, fight against gravity. I don't want you just to let it swing, etc. That's not really doing anything for you. But nice and slowly bring it down and bring it back up. And what you might want to find you do is as you start to really connect with that muscle, right now put a bit more effort into really squeeze. So as it's going up, give it a nice squeeze at the top for a second and let it come back down nice and slowly. Fighting against gravity. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to be able to really feel that muscle. You're able to connect to it. Your biceps are probably one of the easiest ones you can connect with. Now I'd like you to try it with the other hand. So again, get hold of your tin. Again, slowly let it go down and then bring it back up. Nothing else in the world exists. Just you and that bicep. All the way down and all the way back up. Okay. You got that feeling? Now, the reason why this is really important is because if you do go to the gym and you do decide to do some resistance training, you'll probably go in there And you might grab hold of a dumbbell like this, and you'll be quite happily doing that nice piece of training we've just shown you there at a reasonable weight. And think, actually, I'm getting a lot of benefit from this because you're fighting against gravity. You're making that muscle work for you with a small amount of weight. But yeah, there'll be some kind of monster in the corner with some larger weight going like this. And you'll be looking at him thinking, I need to lift that. I need to lift a weight as big as he's doing, as good as he's doing. But see, the thing is, he's still doing it under control. He's still doing it with nice connection. The problem is, you've then got other people in the gym, and they've got even bigger weights. But what you find they're doing is they're going like this. They're kind of throwing it around in any which shape or form, and you're thinking, oh my God, he's throwing big weights all over the place. That's got to be good. But the problem is, he's not actually doing anything for his body. He's using momentum, he's using gravity, he's using everything except for the muscles actually that he's trying to target at that point in time. So you'd be better off with a can of beans, just making your muscle go down and come back up. Really concentrating on that, really putting a lot of effort into it. Feel every fibre in that arm go. Okay? And same with the other side. Why do I say do both sides? Because you want to make sure both sides are the same. You don't have one arm that looks too big and the other one that doesn't. One of the other benefits you get when you're kind of starting to work on your muscles, working on what goes on there, not only are you now making this mind-muscle connection, which means that you've almost got this great amount of time where nothing else in the universe exists. No other pain, no other problems, etc. Just you and your muscle. If you can still count while you're doing your training, then you haven't got your mind in the right place. You haven't put it directly only on your muscle. So really kind of concentrate on how that specifically feels and how that works. But you can take that then to any other kind of exercise that you want to do in your body. So for example, we've just worked on the biceps on the front. We can work on the triceps. So if we take the same can of beans, put it behind our backs, and then lift it above our heads, and we're not moving anything else other than the tricep. We're doing exactly the same thing, full range of motion up, and full range of motion back down. Just feel that muscle. Feel it moving. Connect to the muscle as it goes all the way down. Don't shorten it. You want the full range of motion. And this will help with your joints. It'll help with muscle development. And later in life, it'll help stave off things like osteoporosis, which is degrades your bones. Because what you're doing is you're making tiny, tiny microfractures in your bones, and as it repairs itself, they get stronger. Also reduces the chance of things like sarcopenia, which is a degrading of your muscles tissue, by keeping it strong and keeping it working. Okay. So we've gone through there 2 really simple resistance exercises that you guys can use at home. What I'll do now is I'm going to open up for any other questions, anything that anyone may want to ask me, any kind of thoughts and things. Obviously, I've gone through a whole variety of bits about what's happened in my life, a little bit around some of the training that I've been doing, not only for myself, but I do with other people as well. And really hopefully that's giving you a flavour for what you can do with your resistance training, because you don't have to go monstrously big. You don't have to throw around massive weights to be able to gain the benefits of doing resistance training. Sometimes you can do this with small amounts of weight, and also you benefit not only from the fact that you're improving your muscles and muscle tone, but you've got less chance of causing yourself an injury. And especially if you're one of those monsters that try to throw weights around like nobody's business, just go and have a watch in the gym. It's hilarious if you do actually ever do that. So let's have a look, see if there's any questions that came up. He says, I don't know what I'm quite doing with this. I'm sure I can work it out. Jackie says, great. I was working with weights that were too fast. I'll make sure I slow down. Excellent. That's one person at least converted through. You'll find a massive difference. And what you might even find is that you have to reduce your weights down as you're doing it. One of the things I found, specifically with things like, there's a really tiny muscle just in your back here. It's called your rear delt muscle. It doesn't need a lot of weight, but yeah, you see people put ridiculous amounts of weight on when they're doing it. I tend to drop that down to about 4 kilos, which is next to nothing when you think about it, but it's just perfect for giving me that workout. Another question on here: how much each day will it take to see and feel a difference? Okay, you're going to hate the answer for this one because it's one of those that says all depends. Everybody is different. Literally, everybody's body is different. So it all depends on, how much exercise you've done, what you've been eating, how much exercise you've done previously in your life. So, for example, if you've been a very sporty person previously in life, then actually you've built a lot of muscle fibers. So what you'll find is it probably doesn't take quite as much as, say, for example, something like me. I lived most of my life in computers up until around about 2 years ago. So I was absolutely fantastic when it came to use my brain, but actually useless when it came to use my muscles. So for me, it's taken a long time to be able to build the amount of muscle that I have got now, and I'm going to have to continue to do that going forwards. So I'm almost like starting from scratch. You guys, as teenagers, you are absolutely in the prime position for building muscle because you've got the right type of hormones. Your body's primed for actually building things. So if you start now, whatever you lay down today, it's going to be with you for the rest of your life, because that's the key thing with muscles. The muscle fibers, they will be there. So even for some of those times when you don't quite train as heavily, when you do come back to it, they'll just quite re-pump up and you've got them back again. How do you keep yourself motivated? That's a good one. Thank you, Gemma, for that question. The way I keep myself motivated is pinning it to my highest value, which is my family, my friends, and my clients. So whatever I do, I really do want to be there for them. I love my family dearly. It's the reason why I get up every morning. It's the reason why I work so hard. I want to make sure that they have a great life ahead of them and can support them in whichever way they can. I love being able to support my friends. And again, I'll be there for them when they need me. I'm also there for them when they don't need me, just want me to be around, which is also good fun. And obviously it's great being able to serve so many other people as well. So I've got a beautiful set of clients who I've just been able to work with, and we've done amazing things over the years. And because I've been able to do that, I kind of see those as a very high value, not the fact of what I get paid for it, but just the fact of being able to help other people. That's really high in my kind of set of values, and that's how I keep myself motivated. What other questions have gone on here? Yep. Yeah. I've got a question here that says 12 kilograms in 12 weeks. It was 10 kilograms in 12 weeks, but it's still a lot. There is actually an interesting thing when you start looking at how to lose weight and stuff. One of the key problems you've got is this thing called the yo-yo effect. And if you've ever tried losing weight, you may have seen it before. So you lose some weight, put loads of weight on, etc. And that's really bad for you. It's bad for your body. It's bad for your hormones. It's bad for your mindset, to be frank. Because let's face it, you don't lose a load of weight. Just think, oh my God, I've just put it all back on again. So when you're looking to lose weight, the safe limits are usually around about 1% of your body weight, or between up to about 1 kilogram a week on average. Now, it is on average, because there'll be some weeks where you won't lose any, some weeks they're going to put some on. And this is going to just be part of your normal rhythm of your body. So don't just be looking at that number all the time. Weight is probably one of the worst things you can look at, but actually it is a good indicator for some other bits and pieces. I'm currently doing a thing at the moment where I am posting on my Facebook profile my weight and what's changing in my body, because I've kind of got my body into a lifestyle piece where actually I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm doing all the things I want to do, but I want to push that a little bit further. I want to show that actually men over the age of 45, yes, I am one of those, I am going for my COVID jab soon, can actually put on muscle and get a six-pack. So between now and July, oh my God, you can't believe the silly things I end up doing. Anyway, so I'm putting all this up on Facebook so you can watch the journey there. You'll probably see 2 weeks ago I dropped about 2 kilos, absolutely fantastic. Last week I dropped just under half a kilo. This week I've dropped 100 grams. Okay, has anything really changed? No, I'm still absolutely spot on with my training, spot on with meals, etc. It just is part of what happens in your body. So you've really got to look at the long-term picture of this, not just think, oh, it's week on week, I've not met my 1 kilogram down or whatever. So it really just work on those type of things. And it's hard. It's an unbelievable mind game. It really is. So if you can have people there around you that can support you and help you, friends, family, a coach, whatever else it's going to take to really help you get in those positions and really help you over those times when you're thinking, oh my God, it's just not working. It is invaluable. And I still have so many people to say thank you for that kind of element. What else we've got on here? We've got, what would you say is the best exercise for losing fat? Resistance training. is the best exercise. The reason why is your body wants to be as efficient as it possibly can. Yeah, it's a bit like most things have curves in it because the easiest shape to become is a circle. So your body's trying its hardest to be the most efficient it can, so it can use the least amount of fuel to get the most amount out of it. So as you're shrinking, effectively by dieting or whatever, and giving it less and less fuel, it's trying to do more and more with less and less fuel. So it kind of cuts out all of your muscles, it cuts out anything that it doesn't think it has, because it then gets to a position where it thinks it's in starvation mode. It starts to pile on the pounds again as fat, thinking that there's going to be some great drought or something coming up. So really just resistance training, because what you want to do is you want to make your body as inefficient as possible by actually building bigger muscles. Bigger muscles themselves require a lot of energy, not only just the energy in living day to day, but actually building them and maintaining them. It requires a lot more fuel and things. And it really is, it's a law of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out kind of thing. So the bigger your muscles become, the more fuel you actually need. And therefore, as daft as it sounds, the easier it is to shed fat. So definitely that's where I would start. There are other things that you can do on top of that afterwards, like cardio, etc. But really, I would really start with some resistance training. That's where I would start with. Where else have we gone here? Can girls join the group too? Yes, yeah, girls can join groups, definitely. Actually, I run a free morning class. Anybody's welcome to join. It's 7:30 on a morning, UK time. We've got people coming in from around the globe usually. It's a nice little community. It really takes young and old. We don't mind. And you're free to drop in and drop out. So again, we just do that completely free of charge. Me, Ben and Adam, we put it together over the COVID period, and all the gyms, etc. were out of action, just to make sure people had a way of being able to still do a bit of training with everyday household items. If you've just got the tin of beans, etc., tin of beans, carrier bag, a broomstick, whatever else you've got available, we can make it work. And we usually have a bit of a laugh with it as we go through it, and also try and explain a bit of the reasons why behind some of these things, because I'm a firm believer, if you know why, then you're more likely to deal with the how and the what. So I think I'm going to be ushered out in a second.
I'm trying to sit here quietly. I'm sorry. That was amazing, Martin. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for showing us all these exercises. Jackie, as Lars says, 7:30 in the morning is 1:30 in the morning for me. I would love to join, but I couldn't do it live. And last questions, I believe. Nelly says, how do I keep motivated day by day? This is the hardest part for me, and I always quit.
Yeah, it's finding what is the highest value for you. The question that I was asked that really kind of pinned it home for me was, what do I get out of bed for every day? So if there's one thing that gets you out of bed and motivates you just to get out of bed and do something, what is it? It might be, for example, something specifically for you. It might be something for a specific loved one. It might be something for part of your family or for your community around you. Whatever it is, find what that one thing is that you get out of bed for every day. And all of a sudden, that will start to give you the motivation, because, you pin it behind there. I get out of bed to make sure that I'm going to be here for my family in the future. If I'd continued to go the way I was going, it wouldn't have been like that.
Absolutely loving you. Thank you so much. I, as a person who actually know you in person, it's a huge change. Huge. It's just absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna comment because this is the channel for teenagers, and therefore I will most probably be taken wrong. Whatever I say, my comment will be wrong, right? So a huge thank you, Martin, and have an amazing evening in UK on Saturday. So huge thank you for showing us these exercises. And yeah, I'm gonna see you soon. For all of you who are staying here, the next session is actually with me. So before we start, for all of you who knows me, that's not going to be you watching me and talking and like falling asleep. That's not the case. So what I want you to do, I want you to grab a pen and a paper quickly, chop, 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 pen and a paper. Trust me, you're going to love that. And once you grab your pen and paper, I want you to put a yes in the comment that you've got your pen and paper. Come on, I want to see your yeses. And whoever says yes first, put also where you're watching it from. So put the city you're watching it from right now. I can see all the comments throughout all the channels right now, because guess what? I'm also administrating today and tomorrow. So I can't wait. I have so good things for you. Can't wait. Grab a pen and a paper. You're ready? Ready, ready, ready? I cut my finger, actually. I can't even, I don't know, you can see. It's kind of all the colors of the rainbow right now. Maria says yes. Thank you, Maria. Good. Where are you watching from? Which city you're watching from right now? Woohoo! I specifically wanted my Nicola said yes from London. Absolutely amazing. Yes, Christina. Which city you're watching it from, Christina? I specifically put today to basically say, have I wish life to be much easier. We're ready, says Jackie. Amazing. We're ready, says Nelly. That's great. Okay, so I'm gonna say, we're gonna do a game, and I'm gonna say a word, and you're gonna say the opposite of that word. It's all emotions. It's gonna be words about emotions. Christina is watching from London. Thank you so much, Christina. It's gonna be words of emotions. I'm gonna give you one emotion, and I want you to put in the comments here, not on your paper, but in the comments here, the opposite word, the opposite emotion. So it's, you know, the spectrum of our emotions. We have negative and we have positive emotions. So the first word is hate. What is the opposite for you of hate? Jackie is watching from Bogota. That's amazing. Woohoo! What is the opposite of hate? Darlington for Liz. You're watching from Darlington. Hello, Darlington. That is amazing city in UK. That is so, so good. I live in London as well. Currently, I'm not in London physically, but hey. Okay, guys, what is the opposite of hate? So then we can do the exercise, and you're gonna use your pen and paper. We're ready? Love, says Maria. You're matching my answer, Maria. I've got love as opposite of hate as well. Compassion, says Christina. That is amazing. Yes, compassion as the opposite of hate. Who else? Jackie, Liz. Who else is watching? I can't see your names. Nelly. If you answer, I will see your name, so I can see what the opposite of hate is. Love, says Jackie. Thank you so much. Yay. Okay, who else? One more person. The opposite of hate. So we have so far love, we have compassion, we have love again. One more word. Come on, people. Did you F your mood so far? This festival is called F your mood, meaning fuel your mood. So let's fuel our mood. Caring, says Liz. That is a beautiful, beautiful emotion. Okay, so what I want you to do right now, grab your pen and paper, and I want you to type in your paper something you hate doing right now. Something you hate doing. Tricky questions, right? The first thing which comes to your mind, something you hate doing. It could be that you hate doing your bed in the morning, that you hate doing your homework, that you hate staying at home instead of going to school and seeing all your classmates. You hate the online, or you might love it, the online school, or you might love it, I don't know. You might hate, Jackie says, F your mood, absolutely. You might hate staying in your room all the time, or you might love it. I don't know. What do you hate doing? I hate going out for a jog, says Jackie. You don't have to, if you want, share it in the comments, but I want you to type it on your paper. So type a yes if once you're ready. Put a yes so I know that you're ready, because I have my next question. And the next quick exercise. So right now we are putting and writing just for ourselves or publicly if you want, whichever you prefer, something you hate doing. You hate, Gemma says yes, Gemma is ready. Okay, so one more yes, changing fly papers. That's an interesting one. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I want you to find one, Maria, thank you, you're ready as well. I want you to find one good thing in the thing you hate doing, because you're still doing it, but I want you to find one good thing when you do that thing what you hate. At least one good thing. Come on, you're better than this. You can find one good thing in something what you hate doing. Picking up after my dog, says Gemma. Ew. Okay, what's the good thing, Gemma? What's the one good thing when you pick up after your dog? I hate burpees, says Jamie. What is the good thing about burpees? If you want, share it in the comments. If you want to write it down in your list, on your paper. I'm clearing the path for others. Exactly, Gemma. Absolutely. And you know what? As a person who loves walking out in nature, thank you so much for picking up after your dog, because honestly, I hate that little minds around. There's nothing good about burpees. Jamie, you're much better than this. You can find one good thing about burpees. I don't have to do it again for 4+ days. This is a good thing and positive. Great. It really helps me manage my mood, which is the only reason of jogging. Amazing. I love it. Gemma says, yep, I know, I hate it too. Okay, are you ready for the next mood in the negative so we can find the mood in the positive? You ready? Yes, no, yes, no. F your mood. I hate overeating, but I love food. Ooh, this is a good one. I'm still not finding the good thing, says Nelly. You know what? I'm going to give it as a homework. I want you to find it later on, because we're going to move on. The next word is fear. What is the opposite of fear for you? Fear. Fear is in the bad. Usually people put it in the negative emotions, right? But I want you to think, what is the opposite of the negative emotion, fear? What is in the positive spectrum? A good feeling, says Jamie. So I'll put it in the comments here. Brave, says Nelly. That's amazing. Success, says Gemma. That is a good one. A fear. So we're looking at the opposite of fear for all of us who is joining right now. You're with F Your Mood Festival. Calm, says Liz. And right now we are looking for the opposite of the emotion of fear. So we have brave, success, calm, action. They're all amazing. Mine one is fate, right? Fate. Okay. Myself, says Liz. Acceptance, says Christina. Amazing. Jamie says clarity. Absolutely great. Okay, so here's my question. What I want you to write in your self-love, says Maria. Amazing. What I want you to write on your paper is something you fear right now. One thing you fear. Could be that you fear that you might get one of the viruses going on. I heard that they're very famous right now, right? And very fashionable. The opposite of fear is peace. Okay. Okay, so you're writing right now down one thing what you fear, right? Put a yes once you're ready. Put a yes in the comment once you wrote down on your paper something you fear. Let's see what I'm gonna ask you to do with that one fear, what you wrote down. Jamie says, yes, you're ready. Great. Liz is ready. Who else is ready? Gemma giving up. Giving up on writing down the fear, or giving up as emotion around fears? Strange noises around. Nelly is ready. Okay, so what I want you to do is this. Christina is ready. Okay. This is not a joke, by the way. It's really helpful exercise. So I'm always smiling, so I need to lower down my smile. But here is, no, giving up is my fear. Ooh, this is a big fear. Yes, I'm afraid of rats, says Jackie. They're horrible. Okay. What I want you to do, I want you to mentally imagine that fear in front of you. And I want you, right now, I want you to spread your hands like you're hugging someone. I want you to spread your hands, and in your imagination, I want you right now to put the fear in your arms and hug your fear. I'm gonna count down from 10. And I want you to go through the feelings which are coming up in your mind. Just hug your feeling of fear with the opposite of fear. For me, this is fate. But hug that fear. 10, 8, 7, 6. Just feel the fear in front of you and hug it. Give it all your love to that fear. 5, 4, 3. Give more love. 1. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath. What happens when you embrace and you welcome fear in your hug, in your energy field around your body? You have energy field. For all of you, if you didn't know, you do have energy fields around you. But what happens when you welcome fear? The fear usually disappears. So I want you to remember today from FUO Mood Festival, if there is one thing to remember from today, I want you to remember that the moment when you start welcoming your negative emotions, what I just asked you to do it with fear, they were going to start dissolving. They would start disappearing. So the more you practice this exercise and you really welcome them, and the physical opening your arms and welcoming them and hugging them, it's gonna be hard at the beginning. Christina says this is very difficult. It is at the beginning, but the more you do it, the more actually that negative emotion is gonna start just dissolving, just disappearing from your energy field. So I want you to keep practicing. I know with fear, and that's why I picked fear specifically, but with fear it's not that easy. And I want you to just keep practicing hugging your negative emotion. Okay, the next one is denial. I want you to put in the comments an opposite emotion of denial. What are you denying right now? Denial. Put the opposite of denial as emotion in the comments right now. That's part of your FUO mood today. What is the opposite of denial? Truth, says Gemma. Gemma did say, I don't really want to hug the poo of your dog. Mentally, just mentally. Acceptance, says Jamie. That is great. Acceptance, says Jackie. There is you work together, right? Like there is a synchronicity in your answers there. That is amazing. Okay, what is the opposite of denial? For me is, Liz says being. Mine one is acceptance as well, which is matching Jamie and Jackie's. Okay, one more. Who didn't? Nelly. Where are you, Nelly? It disappeared. What is the opposite of denial? Okay, here is what I want you to write on your paper. What are you denying right now? Are you denying that you're a teenager and all your hormones are literally hitting your brain all the time and it's like driving you crazy? It is hard. Being there, done that, I can tell you, it was hard for me as well. Are you denying that, you know, what are you denying? Just put it on your paper. I don't need to know, but if you want, put it in the comment. Nelly's here. So the opposite of denial. And then put in your, I deny that I eat a lot of chocolate. Gemma, you know what? I was denying for 20 plus years that I'm a chocoholic. And that was kind of bad, like really bad. I could eat a chocolate bar, really big chocolate bar, within a minute and a half. Not that it's a competition, but it was like fast disappearing. I second that, Gemma, says Maria. Okay, what are you denying? And once you put that in on your paper, I want you to write down the answer, a simple yes or no answer of my question. And the question is, do you still want to deny that? It's a yes or no question. I deny my mood, says Nelly. Yep. So yes or no. That's simple. Okay. I have the next word. We're ready? Yes. F your mood. I love the title what you guys from JCF came up with, F your mood. It just made my day. I was like, yes, I'm in. I'm gonna join completely. Okay, are we ready for the next word? Yes, no, yes. Yes, it makes me go ahead. Good. Okay. My next word is depression. I want you to find the opposite word of depression. If depression is from one side of the spectrum, what is the opposite positive word of depression? Jamie is ready and Gemma is ready. Okay, put in the comment in here, what is the opposite word of depression? Freedom, says Gemma. What is the opposite of depression? Come on, people. Fuel your mood. The opposite of depression is, for me, now I need at least 2 more answers before I give you my own. Action, content, here we go. Okay, so for me, the opposite of depression is movement. Like depression, if you join us from the beginning of the festival, it was Jackie Campbell talking about the mood map, and she was talking how on the mood map you've got low moods, so you've got mood and energy. So if we're talking about depression, depression is low mood, low energy. So it's somewhere like whoops. Coordinate left and right, Biljana. Low mood, low energy, somewhere here, like really low on the map. So Nelly says motivated. Nicola says exhilaration. That is amazing. This is the opposite of depression. What I want you to realize is this black cloud lifted. Black cloud lifted. Yes, Jamie, absolutely. I want you to think and write in your paper right now one good thing about depression. Crazy question, right? But I want you to find one good thing about depression. Fullness, says Christina. Sunshine, says Jamie. Absolutely. Think about one good thing about depression. There is a reason to ask you silly questions or strange questions, I can tell you that. So write on your paper, in your notebook, one good thing about depression. Eye-opening, says Gemma. Absolutely. Put a yes once you're ready. Once you wrote down one good thing about depression. And if you can't think about anything, just put in the comment, can't find one good thing about depression. Depression is great for being analytical and getting answers. I love that one. It can't go worse, says Nelly. I'm sorry. Yes, sometimes it cannot go worse. Or at least that's how we feel, I can tell you. Maria says, you do not always remain in it. Jackie says, critical thinking. Yes, they are absolutely. I'll tell you what, I was in a, I'm not allowed to swear, right? So I was in a shitty depression about a month ago. And it's not artificial, self-reflection. Yeah, I love it. And when I was in a such kind of a shitty deep depression, I was listening Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you know Abraham Hicks or not, but if you don't, please Google Abraham Hicks or go on YouTube and check Abraham Hicks out. And I was listening, and she was talking about contrast. I'm not allowed to swear continuously. Yes, that's me. So Abraham Hicks was talking about contrast, and honestly, I couldn't listen to the whole talk because my mind was in a completely nuts space and nuts mood. But the word contrast came in my mind, and I was thinking, if I'm not in such a deep depression, I wouldn't actually realize what I want in my life and what I want right now. And I wouldn't realize exactly the contrast, the opposite of depression. And for me, that is one good thing about depression. It makes us realize not just where we are, it makes us realize what is the opposite. And this is where we want to go, and this is where we want to become, or to go to as a destination, if you want. And for me, if I need to write down one good thing about depression, that would be the word not the opposite, the word of oh my God, I just said it. It's yeah, anyway, it's gone. Forget it. Amazing, right? I've got one more word before I go, because I have 2 minutes before it's my time gone. And I'm going to choose the word hopeless. So put in the comments the opposite of the emotion hopeless, the feeling of hopeless. Put the opposite in the comments here. Put the opposite of hopeless. Let's see what you have. Contrast, bingo, contrast. Empowered, says Gemma. Ha! Gemma, you stole my word. Empowered is my word as well. Yes, it's a huge contrast when you're in a depression, and it's a huge contrast where you want to go. Okay, everyone. If Your Mood Festival, how you're doing? We're looking for the opposite of the word hopeless. Put it in the comments here of what is completely the opposite of the negative emotion hopeless. Invigorated, says Nicola. I love that one. Capable, says Maria. Ooh, that's interesting one. Hopeful, says Chris. I love it, Chris. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching from LinkedIn. That is amazing, especially on Saturday evening. Absolutely amazing. So the opposite of hopeless, motivated, Nelly. thank you so much for all of you for joining my session today. That was really good. I have my last question to you, which is something I want you to write on your, I put an alarm, so I'm not going to be lost in time. I put my last question for you to answer and write it on your notebook. Focus, motivated, hopeful, and optimistic. That is amazing. I want you to take the positive word, what you just answer, and I want you to say, in my case, is empowered. So in my case, we'll be like, what am I empowered to do today? Or what am I motivated to do for you, Nelly? What are you focused on to do, Jackie? What are you optimistic to do today, Jamie? What you're hopeful to do today, Chris? What you're capable to do today, Maria? What are you motivated, Christina, for you? Nicola, for you, what are you invigorated to do, and what you're empowered to do, Deva? That was it from me. What I would like to do right now is thank you so much, first of all, for joining me. Huge thank you for joining FEO Mood Festival, because this festival was possible to be done only with a huge team behind Julian Campbell Foundation. Thank you so much for doing and organizing the festival. The next person, which I'm gonna play as it's actually recorded, is DJ Jumping Jack. And if you give me just one more second, I will pull the video. Dum dum dum. Enjoy.
You're recording.
I'm Ellie Talebian, radio presenter, mother, DJ, and hypnotherapist. I work with We Are Hummingbirds, and I'm really excited to be here today for Fuel Your Mood Festival. We're really pleased the Julian Campbell Foundation have invited us along, and we are very excited about the interview we've got in store for you right now with Jumping Jack Frost and Mr. Ian Hurst.
Thank you very much, Ellie. Yeah, welcome. Thanks for having us, everybody. My name's Ian Hurst. As said, I'm one of the co-founders and directors of We Are Hummingbird, which is a mental health and suicide prevention non-profit. Really pleased to be here today to help talk to you guys about mental health and understanding more about what it's like from possibly a fresh, modern approach, looking at lots of bold colours, music, and yeah, a slightly different way of thinking about your mental health. And as Ellie said, we're joined by the absolute legend, DJ Jumping Jack Frost, someone that I grew up with, sorry to say, a bit older than me, listened to all his great music when he was doing the rave scenes as well. An author now and a real advocate for mental health, and more importantly, a brilliant ambassador for We Are Hummingbirds. So, DJ Jumping Jack Frost, how are you doing? Tell us a bit about you.
I'm good. Well, I'm Jumping Jack Frost. I'm a DJ, producer, author, podcaster, and advocate for mental health. And thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to spending the time chatting to you.
Awesome, amazing. Thank you so much, Jumping Jack Frost. Now, the purpose of today is to really talk about what it was like growing up in London and kind of mental health at that time when you were younger, and where you're at now with your mental health and being able to approach it and address it. So tell us a little bit, like give us a snapshot of what it was like for you growing up in London. I know you're in Brixton now, aren't you?
Yeah, I've lived in Brixton all my life.
Oh wow, okay.
I've lived there all my life. So when I was young, I was always in the streets, like from a very young age, from like 10 years old. I was out in the streets. I was in a little gang, was running around Brixton, getting into a lot of trouble. I used to get in trouble with the police. It was very punishing, because you know, living in this area at that time, we had a lot of trouble with the police and other gangs and stuff like that. So we got into a lot of fights, got into a lot of trouble, and it was quite daunting.
Do you think that was only just because that was the only option that you had at that time?
Yeah, I think because growing up in the area, that's all I knew. That's all I knew. You know what I mean? Like my dad was involved in crime, my uncles. You know, that's the only thing I knew was crime and gangs. That's the only thing I knew. So it just seemed normal to me, you know.
At what point did things change for you and you made that transition of that no longer being your norm?
Well, I got into a lot of trouble. So I went to boarding school when I was 13 years old out in Berkshire, in Newbury. And I think from then I started to kind of see a different option, a different way of life, that there are different ways to live in a better way. And I think from then, I started to kind of rebuild my character. Do you know what I mean? Even though when I left, I still went back to the street life, because I just went back to the gangs, but I was older then, and then the stakes were higher. Sending me to the school did give me an insight into another life. And then after leaving school and coming back into the gang life for another maybe 3-4 years, after I just thought, I don't really want to do this anymore. And then I started looking for other things to do. I don't think if I never went to that boarding school, I wouldn't have ever changed. I'd have been just
really
the street life all the time, forever.
That's a big thing, isn't it? Big thing.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for sharing all of that with us and with our viewers today, because that's like that is quite literally big, bad and heavy, isn't it? Which is the name of your book. That's a lot. Yeah, getting that in there. So were you aware at the time of what impact all of that was having on your mental health, sort of like running with that kind of crew and that kind of gang, and then getting up to that sort of mischief and it escalating? Were you even taking stock as it was all happening?
No, I think at the time it's so normal, and mental health is not like now. Like we speak about our mental health openly now. At that time, especially in the Black community, it's a real taboo. Do you know what I mean? Like, people don't really speak about it. If anything, they say, "Oh, look at that mad guy," which is the wrong way to look at it. Do you know what I mean? It's completely the wrong way to look at it. But that's how I grew up looking at it. Like, look at that mad guy. So instead of trying to engage and help someone that's living with difficulties with mental health, we would ostracize them and make fun of them, which is totally the wrong thing to do. Do you know what I mean? So at that point, I had a complete wrong attitude towards it, while not realizing that my own mental health was suffering at the time. Because growing up like that and starting to do stupid things like I was doing, it does affect you. Do you know what I mean? It affects you, and it's a build up of it. It has a bad effect on you, and it builds up, and it's only a matter of time before it cracks.
So you completely like just oblivious to, as I guess most people are, most young people are, just oblivious to what it is that you're thinking and feeling, maybe almost a disconnect. You're just going along with the ride, and you don't recall any moments where you're like, do you know what, this is not good, this is not working, or this is making me feel sad, angry, low. Yeah,
after a while, it does have an effect on you. It kind of gives you a mental block. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not good, because you need to express yourself. Do you know what I mean? You always need to express yourself. So I found myself not expressing myself, not communicating with people, and every situation, violence is always the answer, which is totally wrong as well. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's helped you to kind of, so again, thank you for sharing some really deep, heavy stuff there. What's helped you to make life better there? Because it sounds like you've done a lot of things that you obviously don't feel good about. So in what way have you turned that around and been able to give back to your community and actually, you know, stand in your mistakes and go, I've got to change?
Yeah. I think when I started getting into music, you know what I mean? Music saved me. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people say that it's an age-old cliche, but it literally did save me, because I went into music and I met beautiful people, kind people, people that just didn't have that outlook that I was used to growing up. Do you know what I mean? So it gave me an option to be around people that I felt I connected more with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is where my journey started, about rebuilding myself. Do you know what I mean? This is where it started, was being around people that I felt good being around, with good souls, kind hearts, who do good deeds. Do you know what I mean? I started to kind of connect more with people like that. And then when you're around people like that, I thought, this is my tribe. This is
Yeah.
this is where I belong, and that's my journey into that self care and knowing myself, starting from then.
Amazing.
When you surround yourself with good people, it all builds part of your recovery and part of your therapy and part of the ongoing journey. And it's so important to reignite that fire. Is such a big thing in helping someone move forward with their mental health and to understand. It's such a big thing. Absolutely.
With that lived experience, like what I'm keen to know is, looking back on that and still living in Brixton and quite possibly being able to sort of look around and walk down the street and see some of those same mistakes being repeated, right? What interventions do you wish you'd stuck with, or what do you wish was there for you at that time? What do you wish you'd done differently? So there's a young person watching right now.
It's going to come back to something you said earlier, because I used to go to a youth club called United Youth Centre. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
We used to do activities, go off on weekends, go canoeing, play table tennis. It was like a little community, and at one point I became too cool for it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want to do that no more. Do you know what I mean? I want to be on the street, but I really wish I stayed there. I really wish. Do you know what I mean? And plus as well, I used to go to the Cubs and the Scouts. Do you know what I mean? I really wish that I stuck with that as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't even remember how to tie the knots anymore. You know what I mean? I wish that I really stuck with things like that, because things like that engage with young people so well that it is another option. Do you know what I mean? And it shows you that you don't have to go down that road. Do you know what I mean? Because I really do wish that I carried on going, because I was really good at table tennis as well. Do you know what I mean? I was really good. Do you know what I mean? I was really good at it. So I think that there should be a lot more youth services now, because there aren't as many activities and youth service activities for kids anymore. I think that the government cuts have taken a lot of that away. It was really important to have.
It shows the importance, doesn't it, of great foundations like Julian Campbell Foundation and stuff that's going on to help keep kids engaged, because whilst you can't see it at the moment, maybe when you're a child and you're involved, it doesn't feel like it's having any impact or any effect. It so does. It sets all the right foundations. And I think most of us as adults, when we look back, wish that we'd either carried on learning a language or playing an instrument, or just stuck involved in sports, because I think what you don't realise at the time is that is an outlet, that is a healthy way in which you can start to improve your mental health, to grow, and to kind of move forward in a great way. Yeah, so interesting.
It's not just that though, it's also going to those youth groups and those early intervention points. They actually give us all the things that we crave as adults now, which is new friendships with different people that you don't know. So I'm a portfolio worker. I work with different companies, different people, and I love that. That's my vibe, that's my tip, that's what I need, is to see different faces every day. If I was going to the same place every day, working with the same people every day, I wouldn't get energy from that. Like, I love meeting new people. Like, it thrills me, and that's what young people get when they go to those things, right? It is, you get different people, you get structure, you get that organisation, and you get those opportunities, and there's more funding behind certain things. So yes, there have been lots and lots of cuts, but actually it might be at those youth services that you get the opportunity to play an instrument or to have some financial backing behind you to go and do something you really believe in, if your parents aren't in a position to support that. So I love that you mentioned that, and that you were honest about the fact that you were too cool, because I was too cool as well. Like, I mean, I might not look it, but I was definitely, there was a point where I was too cool to go to my youth group, and I wish I had, because my brother and sister, they kept at it, and all of their best friends, their lifelong friends, all people from that same youth group.
Yeah. It's so
funny enough, because just before the pandemic, I've reconnected with the youth club that's still there.
Really?
Did you?
Yeah, I've reconnected, and I often go there sometimes and spend an evening there talking to the boys. Do you know what I mean? Because it's still right in the same area, and we've still got the same problem with young gangs here in Britain. Do you know what I mean? So I go there sometimes and engage with them and try and talk to the kids. Do you know what I mean? I've got a relationship with some of the younger boys there. Do you know what I mean? and it's something that gives me a lot of pleasure. Does that mean? So yeah,
that's really amazing. And I guess going to think of this, if you could talk to yourself again now, then on that note where you're going back and going to youth clubs and speaking to local kids from Brixton now, if you could go back and talk to yourself now as you were then, what would you give? What would your advice be? What would you say? What would big jumping Jack Frost tell little jumping Jack Frost?
Oh my God, I'd say, you know, stick with the activities, stick with the football, stick with the people that you think might not be so cool. The streets, there's no love in the streets. No love in the streets. The streets don't love you. Do you know what I mean? The people in the streets don't love you. Do you know what I mean? It's a dangerous place. And at a young age, it's a rocky road to not a good future.
Yeah.
So stick with the activities, stick with school, stick with, you know, sometimes people, adults and that might tell you something and you just think, oh, I don't want to hear that from you. Stick with it, you know what I mean? Because adults know better. You might think, oh, they don't, what do they know? But you know, when you get to my age, then you look back and you think, I wish I listened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And is that the sort of advice that you give the young people when you go along to?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Do you know what I mean?
And to sort of ask for help and get that support.
Yeah. And you know, or never feel bad to ask for help if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling low, if something's bad at home. You know, these places are places where you can go and you can speak to people. Do you know what I mean? And it's really important.
Okay.
Do you see? Sorry, one more. Do you see that when you're talking with children now? Can you, with the knowledge that you now have around mental health, mental health awareness, and mental illnesses, when you're talking to children or young people in the you know, back in Brixton, are you seeing clear signals that children are experiencing, you know, poor mental health and they're not recognizing it themselves? Are you able to see it now as a third person?
100%. The attitude of some of the kids. Where I live, you got kids that live across the road that can't walk across the other side because they're 2 different postcodes.
Yeah.
And if they're seen in that postcode, they'll get stabbed. Now that in itself is a problem. Do you know what I mean? And you know, that attitude causes you to have really poor mental health. You know,
really poor.
Because for you to even think that's acceptable and for it to become normalized in your mind is really bad judgment, and it's going to lead to bad mental health and people getting killed. Do you know what I mean? And it's a bad thing.
Okay, amazing. You've shared so much with us, and I feel like I couldn't love you any more than I do in this moment right now, because I love that you recognize, you know, where you've tripped up, and then you've gone on a different path and a better path, and you're doing all of great stuff like this, like supporting We Are Hummingbird by being an amazing ambassador, going along to that youth group and sharing your wisdom. And you're just an excellent example and advocate of how you can turn it around, and how music is a really great platform to enable someone to do that.
100%.
Your gift is your parties and your music and your DJing and taking part in amazing stuff like this. Is there anything else that you want to add in terms of taking care of your own mental health now? What do you do to take care of yourself?
Well, I have a great therapist as well. I go to see.
Yeah.
Is a hypnotherapist as well. You know,
yeah, we love hypnotherapy.
Yeah, and at first I thought, oh, whatever, really, does this really work? But it's really healing, you know. It really does work, you know. It really does work. I come out of there and I feel like I've had a service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just been serviced, like sorts out.
Buzz.
Do you know what I mean? So just be engaging. Speak to people. If you feel like, if you're feeling low, don't keep it to yourself. Talk. You know what I mean? Because there's always people that understand, and you're not the only person that feels like that. Do you know what I mean? You're not the only person. You don't isolate yourself. Try to communicate with. Sometimes find someone else that might not be like a family member that you can talk to, because it's very healthy to just communicate and talk.
Yeah, and especially our dad on that from a child as a child. Don't feel that you've got to speak to the first person you kind of make contact with. There's so many people out there with different views and perspectives and outlooks in the world. And just look at us three on the screen, all three very different people. You could talk to any one of us three or examples of us three, and we've all got different values, beliefs, backgrounds. So don't just feel that your options are limited. Explore who you can talk to, or reach out to any of us or anyone, and we can then link you on to other people. It's all about feeling comfortable about who you're talking to, and once you find that, it'll be a beautiful thing to sit and talk.
Yeah, and just talking to the right people when you're feeling safe, comfortable. And there's lots of exercises you can do about this, and we've done like a little workshop, which will be Ian and I will be back tomorrow to do a work with your parents about helping you to have healthy conversations with your folks, and thinking of ways of establishing who the right people to talk to are in your network, because sometimes it surprises you who you actually want to go to with a problem, but it's making sure that they can then signpost you and link you, like Ian said. This has been amazing.
I've enjoyed it.
You're
an absolute legend.
So much.
Thank you. Really, real pleasure. I hope everyone's enjoyed it, and thank you for being so open and honest. It's been lovely.
Thank you. Right, we hope everybody has an amazing day, and thanks again to the Julian Campbell Foundation for having us. That has been brilliant. Jumping Jack Frost, you are a legend.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Ellie. Thanks Jumping Jack. Speak to you later. Bye.
See you later.
Bye guys. And hello Gemma.
Hello.
Back. And hi Jamie.
Hi.
I'm gonna change it to the both of you, and I will remove myself. Thank you so much for coming to stage.
Thank you. Okay, so me and Jamie are here to answer any questions anyone may have about the festival, about JCF, anything at all. What are you thinking about the festival, Jamie?
I really enjoyed watching it. I thought, each person had just a lot of great information to share and skills. And I think it's been really great. I'm really happy to be a part of it. What about you?
Yeah, it's been really good. There's good variety of different stuff, different people, different experiences. It's awesome. It's nice to have the interaction as well.
Yeah, I really, the mood map has been like a game changer for me, because, we used it in our training a lot, and not only, using it as a tool when we're working with mentees, but it's something like now that I have that in my head, it really helps me in my day-to-day just to acknowledge, wow, I'm feeling this right now. Wow, I should do this and that type of thing. So that's something that I feel like I'll have, for the rest of my life, and something I'm sharing not just with mentees, but also just people in my life, especially like my children. And I found it super, super useful.
Yeah, I got introduced to it obviously when I was mentored. But I still do it to this day, 2.5 years later, I still do it. I still do it on a daily basis. And it is even if, you're not necessarily struggling, it's nice to track, how you feel, and even if subconsciously you're feeling bad, you still manage to track that and change it. And it is a really useful tool. Hi Nicola.
Just acknowledging it, just like having that visual in my head is like, ooh, okay, now I'm gonna push myself to go exercise or just get some sunshine or whatever that is. I really like it a lot.
Absolutely. So has anybody got any questions at all about anything that we can answer? Do you want to take the first one, Jamie?
Sure. If you want to do a live for JCF, how do you go about it? Would that be as simple as sending an email through the website?
What do you mean by live, Nicola? Not quite sure what you mean.
Like, I think she means if somebody that's watching this wants to tell their story live and connect with JCF, that's how I'm interpreting it. How would they go about, like, contacting us and getting that ball rolling, or message us?
Yeah, I mean, social media. You can message us through that. You can email us. info@Julian Campbell Foundation. You can email me or Jackie. It's Gemma@JulianCampbellFoundation.org or Jackie@JulianCampbellFoundation.org. Send us an email saying, you know, I want to share my story. I'm interested in helping. Same with becoming a mentor. If you're interested in helping young people and you're passionate about changing lives, saving lives, as we do on the daily, then yeah, just get hold of us through social media or through email.
Cool.
Thank
That's
you,
a great
Nicola.
question. Oh, live video. I don't think I got the question right. A live video in the festival, like in a future? Do you mean in a future festival, Nicola?
If so, I'd say the same answer. I'm sure we'll probably do this again, I imagine. But yeah, if you want to get involved, yeah, the same answer. Email or social media. Yeah, if you want to get involved, don't be afraid to get in touch with us.
Yeah,
we're welcoming everybody. So.
Guess we answered all the questions.
Come on, there must be more than that, guys.
Should I tap? Oh, that's a good question.
Go on.
Oh, Nicola asked, how long do you have to be a mentor for?
How long do you have to be a mentor? As long as you like, I believe. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, as long as you want to be.
Yeah, I think ideally, you know, the foundation is looking for people who will, are making, they're making the investments to train and to get you up to speed. So I would imagine the answer is, as long as possible. But there's no, right or wrong answer to that. But hopefully, yeah, for the long term is always probably the goal. Whatever that means to each person, yeah.
I'm going to add myself in this conversation, as I'm very well known the person with way too many questions always.
That's fine.
So here are a few questions from me. Do I have to live in UK to be able to become mentor of JCF, because JCF is headquarters in London, or I can live wherever I want on the beach?
You'd be very lucky if you lived on the beach.
I know, that's a dream actually. But anyway, so if I decide to go and live on the beach, can I become a mentor of JCF?
If you can get Wi-Fi connection, then absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Jamie, you're not in the UK.
Right, I'm in the United States. Yeah, we have people from all over the world participating, right? Don't we have, like, I don't know exactly all the countries, but
the US, China, I think Colombia. There's a lot.
Canada,
yeah. So yeah, we have them from all over the place. That's the joy of technology and being able to do things virtually. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and you just the way things are planned, they really take into consideration all the time zones and really try to accommodate training and meetings and all those things at times that make sense around the world, which can be tricky when the clocks are changed.
Nice. Yeah. Nicola says, I'm really interested in the drama workshops, but I don't know much about it. So can you walk what happens during a drama workshop and who who comes on the drama workshops?
Yeah, so our drama workshops are for young people. Recently, we've been doing them in schools. Basically, we have drama facilitators, so actors and mentors. All of the team go into the schools. We've also done them virtually as well. And we put the students in situations or scenarios of different, I guess, life events, things that could happen. So when we did it in December, virtually, it was body image and the dangers of social media. So we put them in those situations, obviously as an acting, and putting them in those situations allows them to I guess respond to it in the way that they would, or that they think is right, and then for us to be able to guide them to maybe look at how they would respond. Sorry, Jamie, did you want to?
No. I was just giving you a word. I said navigate. I was just trying to give you a word.
I had a mind blank for a second then. Yeah, and then we also have the mentors there. So when after that session is over, they can go to the mentors. If anything came up for them about any specific topic, they can talk to us about it. We also check in with their mood, with the mood map that Jackie and Billy actually talked about earlier on. And it's a good way for them to maybe possibly bring things up that maybe that wouldn't have come up for them before, and experience them, and I guess explore how they may react to that if it ever happened in the future.
Nice one. How did you find out about JCF? Isn't it another question?
Well, I would say Gemma and I each came to it from different ways. So my initial contact was through Volunteer Match, because I was looking for volunteer opportunities, and that's how I connected with JCF to become a mood mentor. But Gemma can speak to it from a different perspective.
Yeah, so I spoke at the start of the festival, at the very, very start, but summarize kind of what I said was I was a mentee myself, so I reached out to JCF for help with my own mental health, and that was way back in 2019, and after I got support from them through mentoring, I wanted to give something back, and I became a mentor myself, went through the training, and wanted to show other people how possible it is to change their mental health and go to a more positive place. So that is how I got involved.
What makes a mentor a good mentor, in your opinion?
Oh, that's a good question. Jamie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think showing up, making the commitment to go through the training and showing up for every session is number one. I think something that stands out for me is just being a good listener.
Yeah, and I think
a good active listener.
Yeah, because I remember Jackie in the training. I remember Jackie in the training used to say, you should be listening, a lot more than you speak. And I do have to remind myself of that sometimes, because I tend to blabber on a little bit.
No, I do too. That's why I said it, because it's something that, it's something I more aspire to, if I'm being honest. And I'm learning, and I think it's important for people to know, whoever you are, whatever your skill set is, whatever your comfort level is, don't let that stop you, because it's just making that commitment, and then everything else falls into place. In terms of becoming a mentor and all the internal support that you get from JCF. It's not only the training, it's We have meetings once a week with all the mentors. We get supervised sessions every other week with a psychologist. So it's just, there's so much built-in support. You're not just like, oh, you're trained, you're a mentor, bye, you know, let us know what happened in 12 weeks. You're really supported throughout the process, which I think is truly incredible, because I have a feeling most organizations that do this don't offer that much support.
No, I think as well, a lot, I remember we had a conversation with, in that mentors meeting at the start of the week, a couple of them said, you know, they perhaps haven't had mental health experience themselves, and they perhaps felt like they didn't have a lot to give, because they hadn't had that experience. They didn't feel like they could contribute anything. And I think if you have the want to help and the desire to help, and you take the time to do the training, you know, it's 6 weeks long. Some people wouldn't commit to that, but if you have the want to help and the want to commit to train, then, you know, that's giving something in itself. Is, you know, don't feel like you're not contributing anything just because you haven't had an experience, because
Right.
You can contribute something regardless. You always have something.
That's such a good point.
How many one-to-one sessions can a mentee have with their mentor?
Short answer, it starts as 6 weeks. But if the mentee felt like they wanted a bit longer, it can go to 12. Long answer, I was mentored for 2 years. So, you know, it varies, but usually 6 to 12 weeks.
That was
So people are a little bit slow.
I was very slow.
I love it, Gemma.
Admittedly, it was 2 years kind of on and off, but yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was a joke for all of you watching that. Me and Gemma are really good friends, so I can allow myself to actually joke about that.
I don't take offense to that.
When you hear 6 weeks to maximum 12 weeks, and then Gemma's story, it's slightly different, right? How can I get my organization involved with JCF?
Again, probably the same answer as how to get involved as a person, through email or through social media. So we're on most social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you can private message us there or email info@juliancampbellfoundation.org or jackie@juliancampbellfoundation.org.
Great. Has being a mentor changed the way you think about things like mental health?
Jamie?
Has being a mentor... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jamie.
Being a mentor changed what? I don't think it's changed much for me. I just feel more connected, and I feel so grateful to have the opportunity to help other people on a larger scale, you know, than just my family or people, you know, in my community. So, yeah, that's.
What are the benefits of being a mentor? How has it changed your life? Which is similar to the previous question. But what are the benefits of being a mentor?
One of the things, surprisingly for me, aside from like giving back and helping others, but something more personal, I've learned a lot about myself going through this process. Not all good, by the way. So in a self-journey type of self-growth way, I'm learning things about myself that are going to contribute to me being a better human being and a better mentor. So that's been interesting for me.
Yeah, I'll agree with definitely
What
agree with
about
that
for you, Gemma?
Benefit-wise, I think for me, the satisfaction of knowing you've helped someone get through an issue that they never thought they'd get through. because I know from my past mentees that a lot of them think, I'm stuck with this isn't going to go away, and they think that's it. And I think the satisfaction of knowing that you've changed that and you've contributed something to them, to their life and for their future life, I think that's a huge benefit for me.
Is there any help for parents? It's them that need help, not me. I'm not quite sure, Jackie, what you mean, but
Jamie, I think that's more your.
Yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely help. So we are running a support group for parents that meets on currently every other Monday, and we may change the frequency. There's also a Facebook group through JCF for parents as well. So those, I think, are the two main ways right now that we're helping parents. Other than, if they do have a child that's in the program, there may be additional, points of contact and that type of thing. But as far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Facebook group and the support group. The support group, we meet virtually, like I said, every Monday, and that may increase. Every other Monday, but that may increase in the future.
So here is my question, the next one. If you think about your own country, Jamie, you're in US, Gemma, you're in UK, I'm currently in Bulgaria. I can answer that for Bulgaria, although I have not been living here for 15 years, but relatively can answer that question for East Europe. Think about scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is very low, 10 is high. Think of how mental health is perceived by people. Like 1 is no one talks about that, and 10 is everyone is talking and it's very normal to talk about mental health. So where is your country on that scale?
Do you want me to go first, Gemma, or do you want to?
Go for it, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I feel like in the United States, we're pretty much a 9 or a 10, but I'm also, it's a big part of my own personal life. So I may be a little jaded by my own experience and the people that I'm associated with. But in my world, I'd give it a 9 or a 10.
I was kind of had a similar answer.
My daughter did say something the other day that really kind of upset me. She's 22 years old and, has mental health issues. But she said something about, well, Mom, it's just part of living with mental illness. And I'm thinking, well, okay, I know you have anxiety and that type of thing, but why do we have to call it mental illness? Because everybody has something. Why can't it just be your state of mind? I would, if I could somehow help get rid of that label, that just would be amazing, because I think it's detrimental to the person who's saying it over and over again. It's like reinforcing, wow, there's something really wrong with me. Whereas I don't see it as being something wrong with you. I just think it as being who you are.
Exactly. How is it in UK, Gemma?
Yeah, kind of similar answer. Because in my little world, it's quite, I talk about it a lot. My family does, I think mainly because of me, to be honest. But yeah, outside, I think it's spoken about more than it used to be. If you went back 5-10 years, the stigma is a lot lower than it used to be, but I don't think the stigma's completely disappeared. And I think there is still people out there who think either mental illness doesn't exist, or they think it's not important. So it's better, but I don't think it's where it should be. So maybe 7, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like a 6 or a 7 to me. Yep.
Yeah. I thought, Jamie, you're going to say 11 for US. Where the series go all the way up to 10, you'll be like, it's 11 in US.
I didn't know that was an option.
So that's really interesting. I'll tell you how it's in pretty much in majority of East European countries. So for those of you who is watching right now live, I cut my hair. Well, I shaved my head last Friday, donating the whole ceremony of shaving my hair to mental health workshops for JCF. And thank you so much for all of you who donated money. I really appreciate your help, because every single pound what you donated is going now for drama workshops, which JCF is going to be able to do. And my family lives in Bulgaria, and I can tell you that whatever I answer right now for Bulgaria is pretty much for every country in East Europe. But talking about mental health is on the scale of 1 to 10 is about 2 or 3, maximum 3. And it's the reason why is because the moment when you say I have mental health issue, people, the way how people perceive it is that you are weak. So they take it as a huge weakness, instead of saying, okay, so there is a body health, there is a physical health, there is mental health. Nicola is saying, love your hair. Thank you so much. I love it too. So Eastern European countries don't have any kind of education what exactly mental health is. And it really breaks my heart about that. And I'm saying all that openly because my nephews, I have 2 nephews, age of 12 and a half and 11, which is pretty much most of you watching right now, teenagers at that age. And the 2 of them were watching my lives throughout the whole week, explaining that why I'm going to shave my hair and for what kind of cause and what exactly is mental health. And I was talking about fear, about depression, about anxiety, about, mental health state, and how the fact that if someone is telling you you have mental health issue, this is not like that's going to be till the end of your life. This means that you need to learn the mood map. You need to start changing your mood on a daily basis, and all that. And basically that kind of hit me back that majority of East European countries are actually somewhere very low on the scale, around 2 or 3, because they still take it as you're weak. And if you say I go to a psychologist, they're like, oh my God, like you're crazy in your mind. And this is how they perceive it, where in reality, it's just completely different. And like people don't openly talk about mental health. And that's one of the many reasons why I still support and I totally love supporting JCF. But yeah, just wanted to see what is your exchange, how you think about your countries where it is. As I live in UK, but I'm also originally Bulgarian. So the message which came from a young person. So I'm gonna reread it in a completely different way. The message from a very teenage person is there any help for teenager parents? It is them that need the help. It's not me.
I love that because, wow, I'm having been through, my own family stuff. That's something that I feel really strongly about is, it takes a whole family to work on things, to help everyone get better. And that's, I hear that, and there is help. I mean, I don't know where this person is, but like for me, my husband and I both went to classes to learn how to parent my daughter differently, who needed different kind of parenting versus my son. And I had to learn literally a whole new skill set that didn't come naturally to me. And so after having gone through that experience and talking to other people, I always say, we need help too. We need skill. Parents need skills. Parents need support. The family as a whole needs support. Siblings need support. You know, it's individual, but it's also a group. And the parenting, you know, as a parent, you know, we have to learn how to help. We can't fix our children, but we can learn to help guide them better. And in turn, you know, for myself, it helped me. I had to address my own issues too, you know, which was hard. So yes, there's help. And I think that's a fantastic question and a fantastic thing to talk about.
Absolutely. And the next question is, why choose the JCF Foundation to volunteer with?
I think, so it's going to seem biased, I think, no matter what I say, because we are part of the foundation. But even before I became a mentor, being a mentee, I think I said this again at the start, but they're very personal. They're a very personal foundation, very loving foundation. As soon as I reached out to them, you know, you don't feel like a number, because I think when I've got support in the past, I felt like, you know, you're just another patient, or you're just another client, you know, you're a number, that's it. And I think they speak to you like, I guess, a robot. They speak to you like they're speaking to you from a script. And I think JCF are very personal, where they will take the time to get to know you. They'll take the time to, you know, find out what you like to do with your day, and what you do in school, how were you that day, and all of that sort of thing. And it's nice that you feel like a person instead of, you know, something that's unimportant and less than you are. I think that's what I got from JCF very, very early on, and I still feel it now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I touched on it too. One was just I reached out through a volunteer website, and it led me directly to emailing directly with JCF. And I remember, you know, I probably emailed at least 10 organizations that I wanted to get involved with, and literally right away, the communication started with JCF. No other organization ever even responded to me, but I remember they responded right away. They were like, you know, we have an orientation about training, sign up. It was just like, bam, you know, the ball started rolling, and I was super impressed with that. And even because of the time difference, because, you know, you're in the UK right now, 5 hours ahead. And I had so many stupid little questions I was constantly emailing, and I was confused, but they always got right back to me. And I was so impressed by that. And just, so also once you start getting involved, and getting back to what I said about being supported as a mentor, you know, being trained, having the reflective session, I think we call it reflective practice, and the mentors meeting, and then you just become part of like a family. And I think what I think is so amazing is I feel so close and connected to both of you and to Jackie and several other people. I mean, we've never met in person. Like, I feel like you're like family, you know, and I really sincerely mean that. So I think that's so special.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Billy. I've known, just to tag on from that, I've known Jackie nearly 3 years now, and I've met her once in person, and that was 2 years into our friendship, I guess, like,
mentorship.
Yeah, and, you know, even then, you still, you know, you feel like you're, like you say, it's a really, really close-knit group, and we're all very like-minded, very similar, very different, but also very similar. And yeah, it's one big family.
Yes, if you're a teenager right now and you think that your parents need some kind of help to understand you, please sign them as volunteers to JCF. They're gonna absolutely love it, and they will start finally understanding what to do, you know, and how to deal with your teenage moods. I noticed that they're all women here. Are there any men in the organization? Yes, they are. They're just shy, camera shy.
Yes, I promise there are men in the organization. Like Billy says, it is just because they are camera shy. But you will see a couple. A couple of ambassadors, and some have volunteered to help with the festival. But there are a good handful of men in the organisation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. We are almost hitting 3 hours being live on the F Your Mood Festival. It's been amazing. For each of you, if you can wrap up, and I want to say a few words at the end, and I have a really good surprise for all of you at the end. So, Jamie, if you can wrap up today, what are your words?
Oh my goodness, just informative, interesting, learn new skills, connected with people, just all really powerful stuff. So thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Gemma?
Yeah, it's just nice to be, I think I've said this a couple of times, but it's nice to be connected to you guys as well as connected to people that are watching this now. It feels, like we're in the room together, weirdly. But it is really nice to be able to share loads of different messages and get across what we want to get across. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you, all of you. So we are going to end up the live. However, F Your Mood Festival, I love that name. F Your Mood Festival is going to keep going on our Facebook channel and on our YouTube channel. There will be a lot of videos which are going to be shared today with you. So please go and watch each of them. You're going to see absolutely amazing people. People also you follow on social media. I promise you, people you always want you to go to their concerts or DJ parties or any of their sessions and workshops. So please stay tuned, stay on Facebook channel and on our YouTube channel and watch all the videos because they are part of our Fuel Your Mood Festival. So thank you both of you, and our magical surprise for you. Let me just put it out right now. I'm
so intrigued.
I love surprises.
Always surprises. Come on. Oh my God. Did I delete the file? Sugar. Okay, stay with me, people. Take a deep breath. I just deleted something I wanted to play with you. Unbelievable.
Are you sure it's us that needs to take a breath, Billy? There you go. There it is.
It is really. Oh my God. Wow.
This is just adding to the excitement and the buildup.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
Did you plan this?
It's interesting. Okay, so
technical difficulties for anyone that's watching.
Technical
I wish I could sing or dance.
Yes.
I have no talent in that way.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Keep watching the rest of the videos. We're gonna see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we're gonna start 4:45 with really good exercises. So I'm gonna see you tomorrow at 4:45, and enjoy the next video.
This is just the beginning. Teens' mental health in 2021. Is the mental health of our children like the tip of an iceberg? Because we only see a small part of their behaviour.
When we come back at 1 o'clock, we're going to look at body image and the dangers of social media.
The rise in self-harm is a really clear indicator for me, because that's students who we wouldn't normally see with concerns, and they're trying to internalise it. And it's only that we're discovering those students very slowly. We're noticing changes in patterns of behaviour. We're noticing when they have a PE lesson actually that they have got physical harm. In the boys, it's expressed more as anger, it's punching walls, it's a behaviour that you wouldn't necessarily see from students. Some of our students who would never have exhibited this kind of anxiety before.
Mental health is a person's condition looking at their psychological and emotional well-being. And when we're looking at teens' mental health specifically and teaching them, we look at the changes they go through during adolescence, their relationships, bullying, and all the ways to improve their emotional intelligence. A typical classroom of 30 15-year-olds, this is what we'll see. Out of the 30, 9 of them would already be suffering because they'd already been bullied. 7 out of the 30, they're already self-harming. In addition to the conventional cutting, we're talking about anorexia, eating disorders. We're also talking about risky and unsafe sex. 3 out of the 30 have a diagnosed mental health condition. 1 has lost one of their parents through bereavement. And this is even before we go into the classroom. Young people suffering from exam stress, exam nerves, poor option choices, poor eating habits, and the impact of that on their mental health and well-being, relationships and broken relationships, and complex family structures. And if you can imagine, this is what our children are bringing into the classroom.
I think what's sad is that mental health is viewed as a different category. I mean, we're talking about the brain here, one of the most important organs in your body, and we're talking about a brain issue. Our brains need help. Are you going to say, if a person has a heart condition, you're not going to treat that? It's not a priority. There's no difference. Mental health, it's the whole human being. That's just the bottom line. And to view it any differently is just doing a disservice to humankind.
It's good to come together and raise awareness and expose the importance of mental health, and that it should always be balanced with everything else. In order to have a balanced lifestyle, your mental health also is a priority to be keeping in mind.
If someone told you that they're feeling conscious about their body, who are the people that you can speak to?
We've seen every single year groups of students that have emerged from this with some kind of anxiety or depression that would not have been there otherwise, that there are many students that need structure, who need that social interaction, who have really found lockdown very difficult. And as a school, we can put the structure back in place, but we can't make up for that lost time. We're stretched. It's a very difficult situation. Students need that support. They need to know that we care about them. They need to know that there are people that they can speak to if they are feeling low. We've seen a huge increase in students who are self-harming. We've seen a huge increase in students who are not sleeping properly. And that has a huge impact on education. That has a huge impact on their behaviour in the classroom.
Coming from the United States, I feel like we're so different. Mental health is a huge priority here. I've been through a lot with both of my children. They're now adults and they're doing well, but we've had a lot of mental health things happen, and we've sought help very early on. It's been life-changing and life-altering, and it just seems so obvious to me. It needs to be a priority. People need this now more than ever, and the repercussions of this after, when this is all over, are going to be far greater and far more profound. If we can get people help now, it's going to help our world much more down the road. I was on something where a therapist spoke who's on the front lines of the pandemic with the healthcare workers and all that. And she was saying, we're not even seeing the tip of the iceberg now. The trauma that this is doing now, we're not even gonna see the fallout of it. And the help needs to start yesterday.
Sometimes you don't even realize you need a help. You can be just in a random little drama shop, and then you just realize, oh my God, there is something wrong with me. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to turn to somebody. And then you realize that you're not the only one. There are many people who are the same and they feel the same. It makes it less scary for young people to turn into the drama shop, because when you already take into a psychologist or to another therapy, they already think, okay, there is something wrong with me for sure. But when you realize something else within the group work, thinking this is okay, I'm not the only one, there are many people like that. So it's less scary, and it's you're just thinking then this is actually okay to be not okay.
There is often someone that always has an issue, but they're very quiet and don't feel confident to speak up about it. And I think having those group workshops, sometimes someone else can touch upon something and actually say, oh, I'm not the only one, because I felt like I was. Or actually, mental health isn't necessarily bad or wrong. Sometimes you just need a bit of guidance, and just having someone else share that problem can make you feel a lot better without even discussing it.
It was called a drama workshop, but it was just way, way more than that. I think that's a cute name for just an amazing safe space for kids to learn about relevant issues and to have people to talk to or an outlet and seek professional help.
Obviously now these are the kids that are, you know, affected by the body image things, and, you know, filter, like chiseling your jaw and contouring your nose and, you know, boobs and everything. These are the ones that are really bothered by it. So it kind of like, it upset me to see how unconfident they are in themselves purely because of what they see on the TV. Like, and we talked about Kim Kardashian, and they all agreed Kim Kardashian's body is fake, but at the same time they want to look like that. So I said, so you want to look like a fake person? And they're like, yeah, because, you know, she's beautiful and she is the face of social media, I guess, and they all want that face.
Wow.
Or that body. So that really took me, like, I was like, whoa, okay, this isn't good, to be honest.
We can't just assume everyone comes from the same household and everyone's bank account or parents' bank account is exactly the same. So who are we to then judge how someone looks and then to call them ugly because they can only do 2 outfits? Has that made you guys think differently now?
Yes.
Who said yes? Would you like to explain why it made you think differently? And it's a topic that is very personal to people. You know, you're talking about body image, like your weight, your size, how people perceive you. It's interesting because the comments they were coming out with at the beginning, it was quite superficial because that's what they're taught, and it kind of hurt me to hear them say things that they were saying. Like, I know it was true, but it was just kind of like, oh, that's really sad. That's what you guys care about these days. Like, what about your heart and your soul and your character? And so obviously by the end, posing questions, they kind of had changed their mind, but they still hadn't, like, we hadn't got to understand why they had those views. I know there's an exercise that I add where I get them to pick a flaw that they don't like about themselves, and then I get them to turn it into a positive, or we discuss why that might not be as bad as they perceive it to be, like having spots on their face. Like, most likely it's because you're a teenager, you're gonna grow out of it, you probably eat food that's not too great for you, things like that. It's very empowering. So the last time I did it in the school, like, I was a bit scared at first. I was like, they're not gonna want to open up, but they did.
It was able to engage every single student, and there are students that don't normally engage with these things, and because it was quite interactive, because there was an element of fun to it, they were all able to engage with it. They felt like they were part of something. All of our students felt like they were able to have their voice heard, that if they were quietly taking on board what was being said, that there was an opportunity for them later to have contact with you. I think that was really important, that they could seek you out in their own time, that they had the opportunity to do that. I think it was really special.
When we were discussing about the mood map and how they feel during like the days and everything, they were really excited to share each other's thoughts and feelings. And the rest of the students were actually listening. They're all very excited. It was a really nice feeling to see them all engaged. It's very refreshing.
I prefer physical workshops because I rely a lot on body language and facial expression. And I think certainly with the schools, the videos can draw attention to children wanting to play up or be the class clown, if you like. But I wouldn't say stop them, because at the moment, whilst this is all we can do, the virtual workshops, then a little something is better than nothing at all.
The interaction from them, the energy that they were sending, it was just priceless when you were asking them to cheer up in the rooms and they were doing it and they were waving and, they were saying nice words. It was just something incredible, and I didn't think that would work really on Zoom. So we still managed to interact with them. I think the energy was just incredible.
When the whole world went into a lockdown in March 2020, we had to stop running the drama workshops. We just didn't believe that we could have highly engaging workshops and that they could be done online. But we did our first virtual workshop in August 2020, and I was completely shocked at the success that we had. In December 2020, we did our first hybrid drama workshop with 300 students in London and facilitators and mentors from all over the world, including the United Kingdom, USA, China, Colombia, Canada and Bulgaria. Since then, we've already scheduled our next series of virtual drama workshops. I created Julian Campbell Foundation, or JCF, in memory of my brother Julian, who died from suicide at the age of 40 years old. And we just didn't see it coming. Trauma is something that I don't wish on anyone in the world. Since then, I've dedicated my life to work in schools, stamp out teen suicide, raise awareness about what mental health is, and empowering young people. Today, Julian Campbell Foundation has 16 facilitators, 35 mood mentors, 3 administrators, and 7 ambassadors, including amongst the ambassadors, Tito Jackson, Denise Pearson, Glenn McCrory, and we have 3 trustees.
Jackie's been so adaptable, and the foundation have been so adaptable in being able to provide something at a time where it's really desperately needed. The students have come back from lockdown with such different experiences and such different needs, and as a school we aren't fully equipped to support them as much as we'd like to. So the Julian Campbell Foundation has been absolutely fantastic. Everything we've asked of you, you've been able to support us with.
JCF are doing amazing things. The fact that they're really trying to tap into children's emotional well-being and the sense of giving them a sense of worth, a sense of pride, to let them know that nothing is their fault and everything is there for them. To allow children that would never normally know, these are things that were never available to us growing up. There was no one to go to. The main thing at the end of the sessions that we did of the training for the children that we interacted with was be kinder to yourselves.
I think it's amazing. All around the world, people get to also experience and train and to be able to help another individual and to be able to get out of their comfort zone and do this, even with the comfort of their own home.
What we need right now is funding, so we can keep our virtual and hybrid drama workshops going, which is really impacting in a positive way our teenagers' mental health. So please help us so we can help our children and the future of our nation. Send us an email on jackie@juliancampbellfoundation.org, or please call me on 07791 688 083. Every financial support is highly appreciated. Thank you.
Just take that little first step and then it'll happen. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it.
Thank you, Chanel. Thank you, Chanel. You're welcome. I loved it. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.